How about those Devils? How about those Devils? How about those Devils? How about those Devils?
I'm dying, guys. How about those Devils? Oh, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace. Oh, I'm getting echo. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And our beloved New Jersey Devils looking to start off the calendar year 2026 on a positive note. Looking to build off of that beautiful win in Columbus the other evening. And our New Jersey Devils at the Rock defeat the Utah Mammoth by a score of 4-1. And you already know. I must ask, I must know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Guys, bear with me 1 second. I'm dying. Wow. I'm dying. I'm ecstatic. We're far from out of the woods. But our beloved New Jersey Devils did it. Now they've won 2 in a row. There's a lot to get to on this one. Again, bear with me. I am dying. I've been pretty deathly ill for the better part of... Now they've won 2 why is this doing this? Hold on, guys. I don't know what the hell's going on here. We're having technical difficulties. Wow. Just getting everything set up here. I don't know why this is doing this. All right. I got that settled. I don't know what the hell was going on. Big win. Big win. We are far from out of the woods. I am not going to get too high about wins. I've told you guys, I do think this team is fundamentally flawed, but I will certainly rejoice in every single win that this team gets. Another 2 big points, clawing closer to a playoff spot. I'm not going to obsess over it every single day like many do, but they need wins and they need points. I mean, the month of December was brutal. The calendar year of 2025 was absolutely brutal. Hopefully 2026 is going to be a much better year for this team. And once again, we feast. Win or lose, we booze. And tonight, guys, we're getting victory drinks again. And victory drinks. Cheers to all of you. Cheers to the boys. What a win. The big dogs were the big dogs. We're going to get into all of it, but cheers to all of you. And let me just... Back-to-back victory drinks when it hits your lips. Wow. It tastes so good. And the boys needed this one. But we're going to get right into the game here. Big dogs being the big dogs. Love to see it. We get to the scoring. First period. And we absolutely cannot undersell the effort by Captain Nicohischier doing the Lord's work down in the crease, just involved in an absolute scrum. I forget with who. Just shoving, all kinds of battling, jousting for position in front. And ultimately, it led to the goal. Puck comes in around back. Nico's jousting with a dude in the crease. He's totally thrown off his game. And at 12:27.
Yes, but Brett, tit-a-tat, where my boy at?
Where my boy at? Jesper Bratt gets a big one to get it going for the boys. Bratter's 9th of the season from brettpesce and jackhughes gives the Devils the 1-0 lead at 12:27, and they needed that one. Obviously, first goal has been huge for the Devils. Their record when scoring first is, I forget what it was, but it's a very good record. And on the flip side, when they have to play from behind, not too pretty. But great play by Bratter. He just brings it to the front of the net and actually goes off the dude's skates. Again, he was just preoccupied jousting with Nico. And then he was so pissed off after the goal. And I don't even think at that point he realized it went off his skate. He just realized that he was completely out of the play and allowed it to happen. He like cross-checked Nico and tried to fight him. I would have liked to see a better response from the Devils in that moment. But 1-0, I'll take it. Huge. Bratter's 9th. Hopefully he can continue to get it going. Obviously, we know he was kind of ice cold for a while. And the big guns got to be the big guns. Bratter and company got to step up. And today was a big step in the first game of 2026. Bratter gets his 9th. First period continues. And at 14-18, Mercer just chips it to Timo in the neutral zone. Timo just gets trucking. Didn't look like anything of didn't look like it was going to be like a major scoring chance, but Timo just has a step on the guy. He comes trucking in and just fires a shot on net.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Timo Meyer. What a shot from Timo the Bull. Timo picks up his 12th at 14:08 from Dawson Mercer and brettpesce, giving the New Jersey Devils a 2-0 lead. And I was on cloud 9 at this point. Oh, was I on cloud 9, my friends? Not only are we nursing a 2-0 lead in the first period, but two of the big guns. Obviously, a crucial element of this team continuing to get back on track is the big guns got to be the big guns. I mean, obviously, love to see the depth scoring and guys chip in occasionally, but you're only going to go as far as the big dogs can take you. And two goals from the big dogs in that first period, 2 beautiful assists by brettpesce, the defensive rock, and the Devils with a 2-0 lead after 1. And I was feeling pretty good. Markey looked pretty solid early. We'll talk about him a little bit more later in the program. But yeah, Markey back on track. We're not going to call him out of the woods yet either, but I told you guys, let's not write this man off yet. Many people send Markey to the moon. Markey sucks. Everyone hating on Markey. And we've seen this before. You know, he's a vintage high-end sports car, and sometimes it takes longer than we'd like. It could take a couple months for that rickety old motor to kind of find its way and start cruising. And don't look now, but it looks like our man Markey is cruising. I'm not going to declare him back just yet. Again, I need to see a lot now because I am so scarred by this team and specific players, I guess, to some extent. I'm going to be a little more reserved in my, overall thoughts about them. But that first period was phenomenal. Markey dialed in. Devils 2-0 after 1. We go to the third. Devils with a full minute of a 5-on-3 power play. And I had tweeted on X. If you're not following your boy on X, follow me on X. I always forget. There's all different handles on all these friggin' things. On X, it's at runninwiththedevils. So follow your boy on X. I'm trying to get a little more involved in there. But I had tweeted full minute 5-on-3 must score here. And at that point, I thought that would have iced the game. Late in the second period to go up 3-0, I'd be pretty confident in calling that, ball game, like game over. You're up 3-0 on home ice. That's got to be the end of it. Full minute 5-on-3. The first half of it was a little sloppy. Utah cleared a couple times. Devils were a little out of sorts in the O zone there. And I think it was like 2 seconds after the 5-on-3 ended. So now it was like a 5-on-4 for about a minute or whatever it is. Jackhughes heads up play, sees Nico camped out in the crease. Jackhughes threads a beautiful pass. Nico tips it in.
Pretty, and he lives in Jersey City, number 13, nikohischier.
And nikohischier picks up his 12th of the season on the power play at 15-13 from Jackhughes and Jesper Bratt, giving the New Jersey Devils a 3-0 lead. And at that point, I sat back and I was like, we've won this game. I know it's a bad mentality to have, but I don't have that in every game with big leads. But for whatever reason, tonight, after that third goal in, I was like, this is over. Markey's dialed in. The boys look pretty damn good. I think we're going to take this one handily. And they weren't done. Oh, they were not done. A minute and 30 seconds later, Luke Glendening with a big offensive zone draw. And I know a lot of people are down on Glendening. And listen, obviously you'd like to have a slightly higher quality 4C. But Glendening is pretty solid at faceoffs. He does get in there on the forecheck. Like, it could be worse. It could be. And occasionally he'll make a big play. And tonight, winning that ozone draw was a pretty big one. He wins it back clean to Dougie on the wall. Dougie creeps up the right wall and just rips one from an impossible sharp angle.
Teach me how to duck. Teach me how to duck.
Teach me how to Dougie Hamilton. Oh, I wanted to see this one so bad. Lots of people are down on Dougie. I get it. He blocked the trades, all the noise in the background. In the end, I do think Dougie is going to be here for the rest of the season. For better or for worse, I think everyone kind of needs to wrap their head around that. And we just need this man to return to as close to the 2022-23 version of Dougie as we could possibly get. He hasn't scored in like 25 or 26 games. Beautiful, impossible angle shot from Dougie. Finds its way in the back of the net. And Dougie's 5th of the season from Luke Glendenning at 16:43. Gives the boys the 4-0 lead. That is how the period would end, and effectively ending the game and giving the Devils the win. We get to the third period, and the Devils obviously not, going full out on offense. They had some chances, but unfortunately the shutout got broken up, and Charcone gets one at 12:35 to ruin Markey's shutout. That kind of pissed me off. I really wanted to see Markey get the shutout, but was not in the cards. But a solid game for Markey nonetheless. Our beloved New Jersey Devils with a beautiful 4-1 win on home ice, and they got a big one tomorrow against the Canes. We'll get to that in a little bit too. But what a win. They needed that point desperate. They needed to win desperately. They needed the 2 points, and we all know. We talk about it every day. The division, the conference, it's insanely tight. It very well may come down to the very last day of the season for many teams, and the Devils may be one of them. They've already given away too many points in games throughout the first half of the season. Today was game 41, exactly the halfway point, and they can't do it anymore. Got to start banking wins. Tomorrow's another huge one against Carolina. Jake Allen will be in there. Hopefully he stands on his head, and hopefully these boys continue to chug along. We go to the game stats, 30 shots apiece for the Mammoth and the Devils. Mammoth, 46.3% of the faceoffs to the Devils, 53.7%. Devils PK doing their job today. Mammoth going 0 for 2 on the power play. The Devils go 1 for 3 on the power play. Love to see the power play generating. Mammoth with 28 hits. The Devils with 24 hits. Mammoth with 7 block shots. Devils with 13 block shots. Mammoth 12 giveaways. Devils with 17 giveaways. Mammoth 4 takeaways. And the Devils with 5 takeaways. We get to some player stats here. Let's see. Nace with 2 shots, a block, and a hit. Nicohischier with the big goal, 2 shots and a hit. Luke Glendenning, that big assist on the Dougie goal, a shot and a block for him. Andre Palat with 4 hits. Timo Meyer, a goal, 7 shots for Timo. Love to see it. Hopefully some more start falling, and a hit for Timo. Bratter with a goal and assist for another multi-point game. 4 shots, 2 hits for Bratter. Grits with a shot and a block. Lemico playing in place of the scratched Paul Cotter, 2 hits. Jackhughes with 2 apples on the evening, 2 shots for Jack. We go to the D, 1 shot for Brendan Dillon with a hit. Dougie Hamilton, a goal, 3 shots, 3 blocks, 3 hits. Brettpesce, 2 assists, 3 shots, 5 blocks. Lukehughes, 2 shots. White with 2 hits. Siegs with a block and 5 hits. And Markey, 29 saves on 30 shots, a beautiful save percentage of .967. And I think based on the 1 block and 5 hits, tonight's balls of the game player, I'm going to Siegs. I forget, he was in a little tiff with somebody all night long. I'm going Siegs. He also dove out to kind of create a distraction on a great scoring chance, which ultimately they did get the shot off. Markey made the save. Siegs laid out. It definitely altered the whole sequence. But I'm going Siegs for balls of the game. A block and 5 hits. Jonas Siegenthaler, balls of the night award winner. Love to see it. And what a game for Markey. What a game for Markey. Finally getting a win that he deserves. He has been pretty solid in his last few outings, not always getting the result we wanted because of the team's inability to score. But it's looking like he's getting back on track, guys. It's looking like he's getting back on track. I'm not going to quite proclaim that he's back just yet, but it's looking promising. Deserve to win a meter. Very interesting one. This one has a dead even at 50% each. Each team, 50% deserve to win. And you see the shot clusters there. Devils with a ton inside, as well as the Mammoth. And Markey was there in the big moments and ultimately was awarded the #1 star of the game. And the other stars of the game, I think Timo was #2 and brettpesce was #3. Some great performances from those boys. But what a game, guys. Cheers to all of you. Big New Jersey Devils win. They needed it badly. Tomorrow is a real test. A real test. They've won 2 in a row now, and who's coming in? Daddy. Daddy's coming to town, and Daddy, unfortunately, is the Carolina Hurricanes, guys. We all know the Carolina Hurricanes have owned us historically for an eternity, have knocked us out of the playoffs in our last 2 playoff berths, the second round in that magical 22-23 season, and again last season in Game 6 in Raleigh, where the Devils blew a 3-0 lead, which is one of the more tragic meltdowns I could recall. And then gave us a nice beating on opening night, obviously, where many of the Doomers proclaimed the season to be over after Game 1. But big test. How will this team respond? Again, second half of a back-to-back. This team has not played great historically in Game 2 of a back-to-back for the past several seasons. For whatever reason, that just is the sad reality. And hopefully they can turn it around. It's a new year. Hopefully some of the bad juju or vibes are left behind in 2025, an absolute tragic calendar year. And tomorrow's a big one. If they could find a way to beat the Hurricanes tomorrow, I think that would do a lot for team morale. And it would certainly do a lot for, again, the standings and for a lot of our own mental sanity. And now we get to the comments, my friends. All right, so let me see. I don't want to start too far back because you guys already know the deal. But cheers to all of you. Appreciate you dealing with me in my sickly state. I know I sound like death. I feel like it. All right, let me see what we got going on here. It's 6:38. All right, let's see. Natasha, took Markey longer than I thought to climb back, but he could have also been playing through something. Who knows? Yeah, I talked about that a while ago, and I said, listen, I'm not giving up on Markey anytime soon. You guys know I am a big Markey guy. I love Markey, fiery competitor. No one wants to win more than him. And we've seen this before. He was kind of derailed this season with the injury. And for whatever reason, he's been kind of a little bit of a slow starter with the injuries. And who knows? He may have been playing through something nagging. He's looked much, much better in his last several starts. Gets the big win tonight, and hopefully it is a sign of things to come. Hopefully he's getting the train back on the tracks. If he can get back to the level we want to see him at, and the team in front of him can get anywhere near the level they need to be, that is a combination for success. That is a winning recipe. The team in front of him playing remotely, to their capabilities, and Markey near the top of his game, we will be a tough team to beat. My issue with all of it, as you all know, the consistently inconsistent New Jersey Devils, and that's really been the issue with this club for a while now. It's that they're a bipolar team. On any given night, they could suck you right back in and make you believe they're one of the best teams in the league. And then the very next night, they could come out and look like one of the worst teams in the league where you're like, this team is awful. And so you never know which version you're going to get. We saw the good version of them tonight. The big guns were the big guns. Markey looked great. Great team win. Great team win. Now they got to go home, get some rest, and come back to the Rock tomorrow night and do it all over again against Daddy. Carolina owns us. Tomorrow would be a huge statement. If they can get the win, would be even nicer in regulation, obviously. But I am still going to be, very reserved in my excitement, just because we've all had our hearts broken by this team so many times that I'm just waiting to see some consistency for a long stretch of time. But I'm hoping that we see it soon. CLW, I saw a slow-mo of Bratt's goal, and to me, it looked like it didn't touch the Utah skate. It looked like it went in off Bratt's stick. I'd have to look at it again. It looked like it could have been either. I didn't see an in-close slow-mo, but either way, great play by Bratt, regardless, and great play by Nico to distract the guy. Bratt's heating up. Would be nice. Natasha, it's been a real long time since Ace used the teach me how to Dougie sound. Yeah, the Dougie soundboard's back. Did I use it in the past? I can't remember, guys. Fred says tomorrow's another important game. Huge. Tomorrow is huge on so many levels. Huge game. Massive game. 4-point divisional game. We're chasing the Hurricanes. And as of right now, as crazy as it sounds, they do have a game in hand on us, I believe. Let me just see. Yeah, they have 51 points in 40 games. We have 46 points in 41 games. So we've played one more game than them, and they have 5 points more than us. If we beat them tomorrow, we're only 3 points behind them, and they'll still have the game in hand. But, I mean, that's not crazy. As bad as this past month has been, this team still could win the division. Now, listen, I'm not predicting them to because of their consistent inconsistency. But winning the division is not out of the question. And on the flip side, missing the playoffs is not out of the question either. That is how tight these standings are. That is how far you could climb with a hot streak and how you could basement dive with a cold streak. And they've had one of each already, obviously. The 8-game heater for the good, and on the bad, that last month was just tragic. Mike says, I forgot about the teach me how to Dougie. That's how long it's been. Crazy Alex, tomorrow will be a real test of where the team is. The biggest test there is, right? Second game of a back-to-back. Jake Allen will be in there, and we're going to see how these boys respond. John Fay says, and y'all said Brad was not going to get hot. As I said, he is slowly getting there. Listen, I'm not going to light the fireworks off yet, guys. Nowhere near, but this is a very nice step in the right direction, especially coming off of that miracle comeback win in Columbus. My buddy Goody, win or lose, we booze, and tonight there are winter drinks, and it tastes so good when it hits your lips. Let's go, Devils. Hit the like for your boy, Ace Devs fan. Thanks. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Bear with me 1 second here. All right. What a game. There's nothing like victory drinks, folks. And they've been way too rare as of late. Brendan, what a win, boys. Was at the game and with my dad. Officially 1-9-3 at games. He finally got his first Devils win live. Dude, that is one of the most tragic stats I've ever seen. So your dad finally saw his first win in his 13th game. That is unbelievable. How many years does that span stretch? It's insane. Brendan says, also, I need to use this safe platform to share the abomination I witnessed. Oh, boy. A fake Stadium Series jersey with Eliash as the name, but Niedermeyer's 27 as the number. Oh, boy. That is brutal on so many levels. John Fay says Markey stood on his head that game. 4-0 against the Utah franchise. Cape Dweller, I'm with Crazy Alex. Tomorrow's performance will say a lot about the direction this team is heading. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to put, too much stock into the one game, right? But it is a very good barometer. Like, in the end, if they win, it doesn't mean all that much other than, okay, now we have a 3-game winning streak and they finally kind of, punched back against Carolina a little bit. But if they lose, it's not like the end of the world either. I mean, they just won 2 in a row. Obviously, I'd like to see them win as many as possible in a row, but we struggle with Carolina. Let's see how they look tomorrow. It is a nice test right at the halfway point of the season. CLW says, Tom said the same thing. Siegs, balls of the game for sure. Beachmaster, Utah had more high danger chances through the second. Natasha Siegs was all over the place tonight. Robbie's bench toss, balls of the game. Game balls is better, but I love it regardless. Oh, maybe we could do game balls. I'm not married to the the verbiage of it. David, Ace, I hate to be negative, but why does it look like Brad always takes shots in the corner on the goal line on the power play? I realize he's a winger, but he needs to get to the front of the net. That's not his position on the power play. He's always like a little bit more of the outside perimeter guy. And it does seem like they like to pass a lot and try to get guys wide open. It works sometimes. Sometimes, it gets everyone frustrated. We're like, just shoot the damn puck instead of all these passes. But you kind of saw it with the Nico goal, right? They pass it around and they look for a look where there's a guy just waiting there wide open, and Jack found Nico in a wide open net. Love to see it when it works. Natasha said, if we beat the Canes, we could win the cup. Someone prove me otherwise. I'm not going to proclaim that off any single game, regular season single game. I just can't put that much stock in a single game. But obviously beating the Canes consistently is almost a necessity if you want to win a cup, because it seems like, if the Devils were to go on a cup run, they would have to inevitably go through Carolina, most likely. Delta says, is this what it feels like to win comfortably? I'm so confused. Yeah, it's really been a while, huh? That's what it feels like. Bonzo said, if anyone is going to take this team seriously, they must win tomorrow. It would be a big step in that direction. A big step in that direction. Delta said, what? Ace, what happened to the AC/DC intro? What do you mean? In the arena? I don't know what you mean. Oh, if you're talking about the live, it's are you talking about in the arena or on the live? The song I play is not AC/DC, it's Van Halen. Hopefully we can beat our father tomorrow. Beachmaster, we beat the Panthers last season. Yeah, that was a nice 2-game. I think it was in November. Regular season's much different than the playoffs, but beating them twice in their own barn, it was like twice in 3 days or whatever. That was really nice. That was nice. Maris says, "CAs, I'm not a bad luck charm after all." Very nice. I guess you're not. You're allowed to watch games again. Carolina plays Colorado tonight. Yeah, let me look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Lightning are about to beat the Sharks. Leafs and Islanders is a big one. Sens and Jets. Hawks and Capitals. Let's go Hawks. Yeah, Canes and Avalanche. Let's go Avs. Let's go Avs. Yeah, so if the Avs lose, then we'll have the same amount of games played. Same amount of games played, and then beating them tomorrow would put us, 3 points back of the division lead with the same amount of games played. I mean, it's so crazy how tight this is. And considering how bad the Devils have been this past month, my God, we should be in first place in the division. Carlos, if the Devils come up with a win tomorrow, I'll start wearing my Dougie jersey again and start looking at possibly buying a ticket to a game. I'll be watching that game tonight, Carolina versus Colorado. Bonzo, when was the last time they won both ends of a back-to-back? Let's check. They did it not that long ago. Last time they won 2 games back-to-back was right after. Oh, nope. Sorry. That was not. I lied. Was in a few weeks into their about 2 weeks into the season, October 21st. They beat Toronto in Toronto 5-2, and then they came home, and Nico Dawes only start of the season beat the Minnesota Wild prior to them getting Quinn Hughes, beat the Wild 4-1. So October 21 and 22 were, I believe, the last back-to-back wins. Let me just double check that. Yep, that would be it. October 21st and 22nd. Natasha, I'm going to watch John Tavares return to the island tonight. Do they still boo him every time? They should. Devil Evans says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Paulie says, I'll have a pre-beer league hockey beer for a victory drink. Very nice. B now, the Devils winning makes me way too happy and losing far too sad. Yeah, this is what happens when you're overly emotionally invested in a sports team. I'm totally with you. The high highs and the low lows. And it has been a crazy season with this team, right? They've taken us on high highs and low lows. Life was phenomenal during that 8-game heater. It truly was. It was so much fun. Life was grand. The sky was a little bluer. The birds chirping sounded a little better. The food tasted a little bit better. And then we had the month of December, a low point. A low point. Hopefully this team could just keep on chugging along and winning games at a much higher rate than they have in the past month. Devil Evan says, Devils fans, stay positive. Let's go. Troy Machine, if the team that showed up to beat Vegas shows up tomorrow, it's a win. If the team that showed up to beat Vegas shows up. Are you referring to the game from a couple weeks ago, or did you mean the team that beat Utah today? Robert, I'm undefeated all time at Devils games 13-0. I got to start going again. Is that a real stat? If that's a real stat, that's an unbelievable stat. Corey said, going to the game against the Oilers on the 20th. Hopefully we're on a heater. That would be nice. That's the second game of a back-to-back, too. They play in Calgary the night before. The Western Canada road trip coming up in a couple weeks. Yeah, and they included Seattle on the tail end of that one, too. So you got Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Seattle. Mario said this was the team that won 8 games straight, in my eyes, one of their best in months. Definitely one of the better games in recent memory, for sure. Brendan said, okay, so that record's over 8 years. Went to a bunch of games they won without him, but he has been cursed for ages. That's a really just a terrible record to have through 12 games. To not see a win in 12 games? Wow. Bonzo said, if the mediocre Sabres could win 10 straight games, we should win 12 straight. Listen, I'll be happy with 5 or 6 straight. You know, they already won 8. You're talking about double digits is very hard to do in this league. David Chimes, Marky Sharp is a pitchfork tonight and been good in all of his past 4 starts. Him finding his groove is huge for us. Yeah, I'm not saying he's back yet, but he's looking to be getting closer to it. If he can, has a couple more solid starts, I think we might be seeing him getting back into the zone. Corey said no marbles like Major League. Natasha Jack's going to have to come up big tomorrow. I think he's our wild card. Obviously, we were missing him during the series last season. Yeah, Jack, some nice assists today. I would like to see him start burying some more. He's only scored, in that first game back. It was the only game he scored in since he's come back. But okay, Tasha meant beating the Canes in a playoff series. Okay. Luke says tomorrow is a must-win. I don't know that I'm going to call it a must-win, but it's a very important game. It's a very important game for sure. Would be very nice to win. Yeah, I'm dying. I said that early on. I've been dying for like a week. Tomorrow's going to be war. Hopefully they're ready for it. They got to bring the A game. Heavier, edgier, more violent. They got to come out and be dedicated to it. Don't wait till you're pushed into the corner. Come out and push them. David says, I wonder if Fitz doesn't trade Hamilton anymore because he scored tonight. I don't think Dougie's going anywhere. At this point, I do believe that because of the teams on his list, that it's going to be nearly impossible. So I think people kind of need to wrap their heads around the idea that he's probably going to be here for at least the rest of the season. Maybe they look to do something in the offseason, but it seems like it's impossible to trade him. And so I am very curious to see what Fitz does to free up $4 million to bring Kovacevic back, because he's very, very close to returning, and they're going to have to figure out how to make that cap space. Jared says, good win today. Hopefully we can get it done in Carolina tomorrow. It's not in Carolina, Jared. It's at home. We need more wins to make up for losing so many recently. Also need some Metro teams to start dropping some games to catch up some. Yeah, well, it would help if we beat these friggin' teams. Recently we lost. We got the loser point, but lost to the Caps. We lost to the Isles. Like, these are big head-to-head games. Pahadios says, calling it. We beat the Canes tomorrow 4-2. That would be phenomenal. I would love to see that happen. I'll take any win, and especially in regulation, even better. John Fay says, go Avs, go. Absolutely. Avs, would love to see the Avs beat the Canes tonight. Beachmaster Allen and net. Yeah, Jaker will be in there. Hopefully he can give us another solid outing. David S. Ace, I know you go to most games. What's your thought on the Devils' new TV announcer? I feel like he gets so aggressive when the Devils score, and when the other team scores, he's like, they score. I like Don LaGreca. And the reality is, I think most broadcast teams are like that. They're way more animated when the team they're, calling regularly scores versus the other team. I personally don't have any problem with that. I know a lot of people have different opinions on it, but I'm fine with that. I don't want to hear my hometown, play-by-play guy be so happy and animated when the other team scores. Like, what the hell do I want to hear that for? John Faces, I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be 4-5 Canes and OT, but I do hope we can take the full 2 points from under them. That's a high-scoring game. I hope we could win like 3-1, 3-2. Regulation. That'd be phenomenal. Bonzo said Devils have the 8th easiest schedule left. I mean, that's nice to hear, but in the end, with this team, there is no easy wins. And that's just for anyone. In this league, any team is capable of beating any other team on any given night. And so while I'd rather see on paper that it is an easier schedule than a harder one, I'm not going to put too much stock into that because we've seen this team struggle with a lot of bottom feeders. Now, Don freaked out when Dougie scored like it was a cup win because he knew Dougie needed that goal badly. Dougie's needed a goal in the worst way, been going through a drought, all the trade rumors and the nonsense kind of swirling around him. I think he knew that was, and you could see it in Dougie's face too. He definitely was ecstatic to score that goal. David Chimes, small note, Cotter was healthy scratch night in favor of Lamico in line 4 played better as a team. Cotter has talent, but terrible team play. Keep sending a message. I'm wondering if he gets back in tomorrow or if they stick with the same lineup. It will be interesting to see. And you guys know I like Cotter. I don't know. I just feel like he's been. I've given my thoughts on him a lot. He's was kind of bounced around in so many different lines with different line mates. Kind of a rough start for him for sure. I hope he gets back in there and they could find a spot where he could contribute regularly. But we'll see. Maybe it might be a little while before he gets back in there. Geese Feeder Ace, how do you realistically think the Devils will be able to activate Covey off IR? Do you think it gets resolved by trading away Dougie or something else? Dougie's not going anywhere at this point. I've mentally accepted the fact that he's here. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I don't think they're going to try to trade Palat. Many people will point to that as a solution, but I don't think that's a route that they are going to go. I think they like Palat, and despite everyone complaining about him, he does have, he has positive contributions to the team now. It's not $6 million worth of contributions, obviously, but he is a vet. He does have value. And so I don't think they're going to look his direction either. I don't know. Could it be a weird one out of nowhere? And I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think people have speculated Mercer. I think that would be completely psychotic. I am wondering, do they potentially consider moving on from a guy like Siegs? I hope that's not the case either. I mean, it's really crazy that we've gotten to this point, right? Where it's like, how are we going to make cap space for a guy that's coming off IR that we've known this was going to be an issue going back to the summer? I mean, this was something that should have been planned out much better. And I do think, and again, this is just speculation, I do think Fitz thought he was going to have a much easier time trading Dougie because there was all those rumors in the summer and maybe he had some deals in place or at least had a good feeling that he would be able to make the deal when the time came. And now things have changed. Dougie kind of dropped off a little bit. Maybe circumstances changed within the other teams he was talking to, but I think he's here. So I don't know. I'm just as curious as everybody else to see where this $4 million is going to come from to bring Kovacevic back. And I hope it doesn't result in, moving off a guy like Siegs. Cause I think he's at 3. I think his cap hit's 3.5. Let me double check. That would cover most of it. 3.4. Yeah. So I don't know. And that would force someone to play their offside because Siegs is lefty. Yeah, it's just a mess. It's just a mess, and we'll see how it gets settled. Del Evans says Dougie has to buy in, bottom line, because Stone Cold says so. I don't know if they still boo Johnny T, but that's what I'm going to find out. I think some of them do. Isles fans chant, "We still don't need you." Yeah, that's great. One of my Isles friend, buddy, hates Tavares, and man, what a tragic loss for them at the time, and for the reveal from the Maple Leafs to be the picture of Tavares and his as a child sleeping in his bed with the Maple Leafs pajamas. Oh my God, crazy. Danino, I'm always happy to win. Country club mindset throughout the organization is alarming. Also makes sense. Crazy Alex, I've lost track of my record, especially for my early years games. I've been to so many, I have no idea. But because I went to so many games during the glory years, my record has to be winning by a good margin, I would think. That's a crazy record, Robert. I think you said, what, 13-0 or 12-0? Geese Feeder said, I'll be at the Western Canada road trip as well. Hopefully they're rolling. Wow. You're going to all of them? Azores Canes is actually a throwback matchup, Whalers versus Nordiques. Oh, yeah, I did see that with the throwback jerseys, man. All the Hartford Whalers and Nordiques fans are probably so pissed. People pointed this out. It is kind of like pouring salt on the wound in a way. You know, that these fans in these other cities before, obviously, the Whalers moved to Carolina and became the Hurricanes, and the Quebec Nordiques moved to Colorado to be the Avalanche, that they now have to watch these teams. And the crazy part is they're both very good teams, too, which makes it even worse. Their former franchises wearing their old jerseys. That's definitely got to be a kind of bittersweet thing for fans of both of those teams. Yeah, Whalers versus Nordiques. Bonzo said they still need to play Allen most of their games. It seems like they're very content with the kind of back and forth. I think we're going to see a lot of that going forward. You know, maybe not an exact even split, but it's going to be close. And then I think they're going to try to get Markey to go on a little bit of a run. I really do think they want to establish him as the legit starter, you know, for the playoffs. But there's so much hockey to be played between now and then that definitely could change. Natasha, Utah is definitely not as good as the Canes. Definitely not. Faye, Dougie scoring a goal. I'm happy he did just because he snapped a 27-game goal drought. Yeah, it's been a while. He was looking promising in October and, you know, kind of fell off. And maybe it had a lot to do with the trade stuff. Who knows? Devil have an ace good crowd tonight. Looked good from my 75. What does that mean? What is 75? Robert, I do crazy stuff when I want the Devils to win. I'm a mush at anything gambling. If I actually bet cash on Devs to lose, they win ace. I've lost thousands. Who does that? Me, Rob the Mush from Bronx Tale. No, Eddie Mush. If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. David S., maybe I'm expecting too much, but I feel like Jack hasn't done much since his return. With all the hype everyone built about his return and the team living and dying around him, he's been quiet. He got the one goal in the game he came back. He has some assists. But aside from pure, you know, production, he is drawing a lot of defensive attention and, you know, matchup issues from the other team. Like, you can't deny that. He's still flying out there. I mean, give the kid a break. He's still wearing like a batting glove under his. He's wearing a full brace when he's not on the ice. And then when he's playing, he's wearing like a batting glove protective thing under his hockey glove. Like, he's still definitely not 100%. But I will take Jack Hughes at whatever percent he's at right now over not having Jack Hughes any day. Natasha said, I wish the teams on the his pre-approved teams, you mean, that Dougie's pre-approved teams were available to the public. That certainly would be interesting. Yeah, we don't know, Bonzo. It's not public data, but I think it's safe to say they're probably all like legit contenders. Love those victory drinks. Slurp one, let's put Rooney in the pipes and use him for target practice. Oh, yeah. Referring to the ref that we have a long-standing kind of history with. Terrible. Richard, what's up? Devils win Stella and Kettle, salt and vinegar chips. Stella and Kettle. Is that are they similar to like Cape Cod? What is Stella and Kettle? I don't know about this. Devil having keep the roster influx going. Faye, I think we're going to rotate defensemen like Lindy Ruff did with the goalies. Sit someone out one game and then play them the next. What do you mean? When all of our D-men are healthy? Either way, they need to free up money for Kovacevic. Natasha said, I bet Dougie's is like Florida, Edmonton, Carolina, teams that don't need her want him. Probably. And a lot of them aren't even going to have cap space. So they'd have to have cap space and the need and the desire. It's a lot of things. And for that reason, I think he is here for the rest of the season. Robbie's bench toss says Nemitz isn't missing the Olympics. So regardless, the cap needs to be sorted out by late February after the break at the latest. Well, no, Kovacevic is going to come back way before that. And Nemo is not making a lot of money right now. So that's not even going to help. Like, they need to find the money now. Enjoy your dinner, Tasha. Crazy Alex, and don't watch soccer commentators. Soccer commentators go crazy. Devil having half the season, time to take over the Eastern Conference again. That would be a beautiful sight to see. We could only dream. I'm not going to allow myself. A couple weeks ago, I started, and I'm still kind of there, that I've mentally kind of wrapped my brain around the fact that there is a good chance this team does not make the playoffs. Like, that is the reality. Even as of right now, like, cool, we won 2 games in a row, and I'm thrilled for it. But making the playoffs is no guarantee. John Fay said 8th easiest schedule, and we'll make it look 100% impossible. John, NJ Devils feel better ace. Solid crowd today. Love the fight today. Got to take 2 of 3 from these Metro teams this week. Cheers, buddy. I agree, man. Got to win 2 of the 3. That winning all 3 would be nice, but that's super greedy. But we got to be greedy now, right? I mean, shit. You got Canes, and then on the road at the Island on Tuesday, and then at the Pens on Thursday. Before going, oh man, that's a pretty brutal back-to-back. Sunday, Monday at Jets, and then at Minnesota Wild. Ooh, Nemitz is returning sometime in the next 1.5 to 3.5 weeks. Obviously, with the injuries, we get very limited information, so we don't really know. Recently, Keefe said 2 to 4 weeks. That was a few days ago. Devil Heaven said homemade pizza pies on the grill tonight. Taco pie, grilled chicken. Very nice. CLW, let's hope that none of our 8 Olympians get injured during those games. David S., I agree with your assessment of Jack, and him smashing his stick when his girlfriend was at the game speaks volumes. He's a kid. He's a fired up kid, guys. I've smashed sticks in games that meant nothing. So, and lots of other people have as well. He did score a goal when his girlfriend was there. Maybe she needs to go to every game. I don't know if she was there today or not. John NJ Devils, they'll make Cotter's a big, strong dude. Wish he would use that more to his advantage. Love seeing Timo crash the net today and the team just throwing the puck on net. Let's go Devils. Yeah, good things happen when you take shots. Fire shots, go for rebounds, hope they get through the goaltender. Just throw pucks on net. Richard, I like Kotz, but it infuriates me when he flies around the back of the net instead of beelining it to the net and taking a shot. He's got filthy mitts and he doesn't seem to trust them. Go for it. A lot of the guys on our team seem to like to do the, go behind the net and look up and see it, Just throw pucks on net. Grits looked like he was in a firing mood today as well. He had a couple decent chances. Devil Heaven, was this planned out with the injuries? What do you mean by that? Scoring once in 26 games will spur some teams on a 9 million hit for sure. I do think he could be revitalized in a new atmosphere. Call me crazy, but we've seen it time and time again with a lot of guys in all different sports. For whatever reason, they get to a new locker room, a new city, a new team, and they start playing much better than they were in their previous team. I don't know that. I'm not going to say Dougie. He's obviously not in his prime, but I still think he has value to whatever team he's on and can bring something. John Fay said, what got Johnny T so much hate is he didn't even tell the Isles anything. I forget all the details of his departure, but I know Islanders fans were super pissed. Super, super pissed. Devil Heaven 77 says, don't tell me Mercer is the black sheep. What do you mean by that? Oh, Geese Feeder. I'm jealous. Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Where are you from, Geese Feeder, or where do you live? Devil Heaven says, Mercer is the hardest working Rizzo rubberneck on the team. Robbie's bench toss. Stolen valor for sure, but it makes money and looks cool. I don't know what that's in reference to. Oh, throwback jerseys, yeah. John Fay said, as I said, I wouldn't mind the return of the Whalers or the Nordiques if the league does not plan on expanding in the far future. Listen, guys, money makes the world go round. I do think the league, it's inevitable that they're going to eventually expand. I mean, there's just so much money at stake at this point, and you see what these friggin' teams are worth, man. And I think the next, I want to say I think the expansion fee is going to be like over $1 billion. And I think almost every team in the league is now, I think every team in the league is worth, oh my God. Yeah. Here's a stat. Yeah. The least valuable team in the league is the Blue Jackets, and they're worth $1.4 billion. Sports franchises have become an even wilder, much wilder, kind of business than ever before. You know, Vanderbeek sold the Devils, I think, for like $350 million, like roughly 10, 11 years ago, whenever it was. And they're worth nearly $2.5 billion now. And the average NHL franchise is worth $2.2 billion. Completely insane. That is the average NHL team's worth. And so because of this, you're going to see more teams added. It's inevitable. I hope it's not for a while, but we'll see. Richard says 68-39 going into the season since 83. I'm now 71-45 through this season thus far. I've been giving ticks a lot to my kids this year. Oh, okay. So Richard, according to my math, that means you're 3-6 on this season. 3-6. So you must have went to more games recently than the beginning of the season, because they were on fire at home to begin the start of the year. Robert, most of my wins was at the old Coliseum. I live on Long Island. Jersey's a hike. I've seen the Devils play there a couple times. Even though the old Mausoleum was a dump, I loved it there. I'd go to Champs across the parking lot in the Marriott. Great sports bar, man. I really do miss it. I loved going to games there. It just had a great old school hockey feel to it. Suk, there are 6 teams last year that Utah has not beaten in their history, including NJ. Utah have yet to get a win against those same 6 teams. Fate was on the Devils' side today. I mean, say whatever you want. A win is a win, man. And I am going to enjoy it. Put him in a bathroom. I am drinking. I've been on the high noon kick. Sunrise Arts Cinema. My wife has the flu, and I'm on Mr. Mom duty for 2 young boys. It was chaos here, but I got to watch the game, and I put Miracle the movie on for my son, Hockey Day. Very nice. Very nice. And you saw a big New Jersey Devils win. John Fay, yes, just until we are able to free up money and so that all of our D-men get playing time. They still have to free up the money before that, though. It's not, you can't just like, once he's active, once he's off IR, you need the money. Does Kobe put us about $18K over cap? No, we need to clear up $4 million for him, roughly. His entire salary. Oh, man, that's a good cut. Ace, first car. Hold on. Let me see if I could. I'll show you a picture. Not of my actual car, but like the exact one. Man, it's funny you mentioned that. The other day I was thinking they're going to be harder to find now, obviously, because they're older. But I would love to find one like the same year and everything, just to have as like an extra beater vehicle. My first car was a 1999 silver Dodge Durango with 3rd row seating, and some of the greatest nights and days of my life occurred with that car as a central figure in the story. Would pile all my friends in there. We'd go to the city, do all kinds of wild stuff. But yeah, that was my first car, 1999 Dodge Durango, and I absolutely loved it. Great question. Random question, but a great question. Let me get this off here. Joseph, how do we feel about the Brat nikohischier first line? Do you see Keefe sticking with it? That's another good question. If I had to bet everything on it, I would say no. And that's because Keith doesn't stick with anything forever, because inevitably we're going to start struggling and he's going to go back to mixing it up. I also think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Jack has that glove on his hand and he's weak and he's not taking any faceoffs. So having him play center kind of, having him out there as a center and not taking faceoffs presents other challenges. And so I do think maybe when he's 100%, and again, it depends, right? How long he's wearing that stupid glove for, how long is he going to be somewhat, compromised to some extent. Now, if that line continues to generate and looks good, maybe he does. I don't really know. It's a good question, but I do think a lot of it has to do with, again, just not being able to take faceoffs and his hand being compromised. So we will see kind of how this line looks for however long they stick together. But if I had to bet on it, I would say no. But, it also depends, right, how the other lines do. So if that line generates a lot of chances, they look like they have good chemistry, they're producing, and then the other lines, however they shake out over time, are also producing, then maybe they do stick with it. But if I had to bet, I'd say probably not. Richard said, if Dougie starts potting goals, his stock should go up with other teams, but I think he's here and so is Plot. Still worried Mercer is going to be a casualty of Fitz's ineptitude. If that happens, that would be insane. Like that, if Mercer has to get moved to free up cap space to bring back Kovacevic off LTIR, knowing that this was going to be, that this was, they knew, right? This is not a surprise. They knew from the summer he was going to come back roughly January, February. And to plan so poorly that you have to trade a guy like Mercer to free up the money, I think it's insane. That'd be a huge malpractice. Robert, I love Wayne's phrase, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Great one. Eric, I thought you were a pro Dougie guy and didn't want him traded. I talked about this during the last live. 100%. That is completely factual. I still do like Dougie, but the point now is that with Kovacevic coming back, we desperately need a spot for him, which moving Dougie would free up that spot. And more importantly, the $9 million. If somehow Fitz was able to trade Dougie out with no retention, that seamlessly opens up a spot and the $4 million to bring Kovacevic back, and then leaves $5 million extra to make another move or moves, depending on who it is. Now, in the summer, I thought it would have been a massive gamble to move Dougie because I was not, at that point, confident enough in Luke and Nemo, just assuming all the duties that, would fall to Dougie. I was high on Nemo, obviously, after the playoffs, but he kind of had an up and down year last year, and there was no guarantee that Nemo was going to continue to progress at the level we needed him to move off of Dougie. And I believe Fitz thought the same thing, which is why he did not trade him in the summer. Even now, knowing that he may have had a couple deals in place, because we heard those rumors then a rumor came out the other day that Dougie may have blocked the trade this summer. But either way, I'll always like Dougie. I'll always see value in him. Yes, he's been struggling lately, but the main thing was I just was not sold on this defense as a whole, specifically with giving an increased role and minutes to Nemo before I saw some more out of Nemo. And then obviously, Nemo went on his Terminator workouts over the summer. He came in this year and he's looked phenomenal. Obviously, it sucks that he's injured right now, but Nemo taking that next step looks like a breakout season for him. And so at this point, I'm way more comfortable with not having Dougie. And then again, with the cap space situation, it's virtually a necessity. Geese Feeder says Hoboken, very nice. Trying to hit all 32 arenas. Very, very nice. How many have you hit so far? Suk said Tavares made it seem like there was a chance he stayed on the island, so they didn't trade him. Then he screwed them when he left as a UFA. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. David Chimes, Jack, goal, and 3 assists in 5 hand brace games. He's not going to be superstar Jack with that on, but he's still going to produce. People need to recognize that. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that, right? It's 4 points in 5 games, 0.8 points a game. I mean, not terrible considering he's still, he's gloved up. David Ace. I saw a Nemitz Devils black jersey on sale at Fanatics for only $80. I really want his jersey, but don't know if he'll get traded. When would you buy it? I don't think he's going to get traded, but honestly, man, it's $80. Like, just buy it. We'll never forget Nemo. And in worst case, if he does get traded, you have an $80 memento of one of the more exciting breakout seasons for a defenseman. But I don't think he's going to get traded. I could be totally wrong. I just can't see it. I thought there was a very good chance he was going to be traded in the Quinn Hughes deal. That I will say. But that obviously got botched. So now I don't think he's being traded at all. But worst case scenario, it's only $80. I say buy it. It could sell out. Let me see something. Yeah, the pajama pick was terrible. Robert, I would love to see the Montreal Quebec rivalry. Back then it was the best. Yeah, whenever you get two teams in the two teams in the same province, Montreal and would they play in Quebec City, I think, both in the province of Quebec. Obviously going to be a great regional rivalry. The Nordiques jerseys were sick. Let's see. Devil Heaven Jack, respect, honestly. Maybe coming back early. Yeah, he's a gamer. I have to give it to him. I've said a couple games ago, it's the most kind of warrior moment of his career thus far. Like, they probably were like, oh, maybe you should wait. And he was probably like, glove me up. I'm going out there like as early as he could. Got to give the kid credit. He's definitely not 100%, but he's still out there flying and doing his thing. Eric says the Mammoth jerseys look childish to me. A lot of people love them. People like new and quirky. I don't mind them, but I'm not I don't care much about other teams' jerseys. Devil Heaven National Hockey League, best sport on earth, obviously. Honky Lips, glad I got to see the game live today. Nice win. Yeah, it was a very nice win. A 4-1 win. Sign me up all day, every day. CLW says Jack smashing his stick was out of character. That's all. I think his testosterone levels were higher than usual. Maybe he was fired up. No cap relief for the LTIR time. Yeah, but it's a complicated. I'd be lying if I said I fully understood how it gets calculated. Like there's daily, like allowances and whatever. But as it stands right now, according to Puckpedia, the Devils' projected cap space is minus 4.6 million, which is counting the Kovacevic 4 million. So basically, yeah, they got to clear somewhere between $4 and $5 million bucks. Right now, the current cap space is 787,500, but that's with Dodonov on LTIR making $1 million, McEwen making 775, Nemo on IR. So there's, all these, and I think they do calculate like a per day thing, but then if you use that, then you might lose playoff cap space. So it's all this convoluted formula. I'd be lying. Like I said, I'd be lying if I said I was an expert in this because it's a crazy formula and however the hell they do it. But bottom line is they need to clear a good amount of money to even bring him back. And we're there. John Fay, Souk, to be fair, saying you're going to stay in one place and then sign and go to another is just a scumbag. Oh, yeah, well, guys do it all the time in every sport. Turco, what's going on, my man? Ace, can you explain to us who and how the stars of the game are chosen? So my understanding of it, and they've always said it's selected by members of the attending media. Now, it is very vague, so I don't know exactly who gets a vote in that. And to be honest, there's not many attending media in any one game anyway. I would be curious to have a finite answer, but they say, yeah, attending media. And now I'm just looking online exactly how they write it, but they say chosen by home team media representatives, broadcasters / writers, not officially by the league. So, we never know. And it seems like because it's not anything super official. I wouldn't be surprised if I have my own theories, honestly. There could be one or two people essentially picking it. Like, I don't think this is getting audited. I'd be curious to have finite answers myself, but they say the attending media. That's how it's always been explained. Robert Cerulli, my first car was an 87 Buick GNX. Killing myself for, I don't know what that says. We have 0 cap space today without Covey. No, we have like very little cap space, but this thing changes every day. Like I said, it's a crazy convoluted formula with all these guys on LTIR and stuff. But it says as of today, we have 787,500. But again, we have, Dodonov making $1 million on LTIR. McEwen makes 775 on IR. Nemo making 918,000 on IR, and Kovacevic making $4 million. So they're basically gonna have to clear, but somewhere between $4 and $5 million to bring him back. Keith said because of Jack's hand injury, he's playing wing. Yeah, it makes sense. Bonzo, why can't you go over the cap and pay the penalty like MLB? Though the Devils are cheap and probably wouldn't, because it's a hard cap. It's a hard cap. There is no just like a luxury tax. You must be under cap. Cannot exceed. Suk Tavares couldn't get it done with the Islanders, so he took the easy route to go play with at the time a solid core. Now it has backfired. I'm glad. Did it backfire though? If I'm being honest, I would say. If you're who would you pick to win a cup first, Islanders or Leafs? I would say their chances are somewhat similar. I know as of today, people are going to be like, "Oh, the Leafs are, down in the standings." But realistically, let me look here. Yeah, they're very close in the standings, and in reality, they're just kind of like a middle kind of team. I can understand saying it backfired, but I don't necessarily think it did. He got to play in his hometown. His family and friends nearby, probably a childhood dream, and who knows who wins a cup first. If I had to bet on it, just because I think Toronto's cursed, I would still probably pick the Islanders, but I don't think either one of them is going to win a cup anytime soon. Jack is winging the Olympics. Oh, I can't wait for the Olympics, guys. I cannot wait. It is going to be phenomenal. A lot of people complaining about some of the omissions. I'll probably do a video or two about the Olympics. I'm not going to go too much on a tangent here, but the Olympics are going to be phenomenal. Let's Ride to Seeks can be moved to free up cap due to the fact White has been solid. Again, though, my only issue with this is that someone is going. I didn't realize that. Okay, so I could see Siegs being a target. I could. Because, yeah, you could put White on the left side. Very interesting. That is a very good point. That White, he's, what a story. He's been on the year, right? Wow. No one thought he'd play this many games. How many freaking games has he played this year? 21. Yeah, he's played half the games. What a pleasant surprise. And again, this is one thing I'll have to give Fitz credit for. The defensive depth was beautiful, and we've needed it. Kovacevic obviously out from, we knew that was going to be the case from the summer. Pesce got hurt. Now Nemo's hurt. It's just constant injuries. You need a ton of defenders. Your blue line has to be deep to be a good team. And White kind of came out of nowhere. A lot of people thought Seamus Casey would have been that bubble guy, the next guy kind of in the rotation. He had his chance, and they've left him in Utica. Wayne, when Kovacevic comes back and if Aldi are healthy, who sits? I think at this point, they're going to have to trade somebody to even bring him back. That's kind of where I'm at. So I think that's what you're going to see. Let me see something here. Yeah, you're talking about then, they could swap it around, but you're talking about, let's just say, a pairing of, I think they'll keep them together. Yeah, you could see White, who's a left-handed shot, go on the left side with Dougie. So you got White, Dougie, Hughes, Pesce, Dylan, and Nemo. Or you could go potentially Siegs and Nemo. Siegs and Nemo. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm talking about trading Siegs. No, I think Siegs could really be the odd guy out. The more I think about it, the more that does kind of make sense. Yeah, if Siegs gets shipped out, yeah, that would be your sixth defenseman, however you want to slice it up. White, Dougie, Hughes, Pesce, Dylan, Nemo. And then you don't have to sit anybody. Siegs could be the odd man out here. Wildly enough. Bass and Guinness. Uncle Pucker, sup, Ace. A much-needed win tonight. Let's go, Devils. Pucker, Tony. What's going on, Tony? They needed it desperately, man. Hopefully they could follow it up tomorrow with a big one against the Canes. I have my doubts, obviously, as many of us do, based on the illustrious history of them kicking our ass. But, man, I would love to see it. But I'll be happy for this one. We'll enjoy it tonight, and hopefully we're drinking victory drinks again tomorrow. They need to clear cap space first, otherwise they aren't. Well, that's what I said. They're literally not going to bring them back until they. I don't even know what the formality is, but they're not going to bring them back without the cap space. Geese feeder. After this trip, I'll be 11 out of the 32. Got a while to go. I mean, it's a nice chunk. You're a third of the way there. B now. Dougie draws attention and backs off defenders. No, I still like Dougie, but $9 million and everything else, got to move on. Robert Cerulli, what I loved about the old Coliseum is the road team's backup goalie sat in the first row of the bench. Had lots of great chats with Devils backup goalies. Corey Schwab was the coolest. Love Schwabi. Loved the Schwabi. Mario says if Nemo's traded, we will have to riot. I can't see it. David said, thanks for the response. It's $80. Just buy it, man. That's the incentive I needed. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you got an outdated jersey for $80 and a good memory of a breakout season from the young Stallion. But I don't think he's getting traded. Robert, the 93 first round, Montreal, Quebec was nuts. Road team won every game, blood everywhere. The pinnacle of the NHL. Mario, the NHL wants money, so they should bring back Quebec, and the rivalry with Montreal will be peak cinema. Yeah, like you had the Battle of Alberta, you'll have the Battle of Quebec. Sunrise. It's still crazy how close everything is league-wide, minus Colorado, who are primed to lose in the first round, and Dallas Wild. Do you really think Colorado's going to go out in the first round? I think they're going to be a buzzsaw, man. Suk says, my biggest fear is that the Devils become the Leafs 2.0. If they don't find some consistency and figure it out quickly, they won't have too much success. And as long as Fitz is here, no good. Completely agree. I've said it before. Did Sheldon Keefe, he was canned in Toronto, and did he find himself in a very similar situation in New Jersey with a kind of long-time underperforming core who may never get it done without some major tweaks? It's possible. I hope that that's not the case. But it very well could be a very similar situation. It very well could be a similar situation. Time will tell. The only difference is that NJ won't have the market to demand huge changes, so we'll be mediocre now. Casuals will always go to games. Probably. Probably. Sook says, next thing you know, Fitz fumbles Nico's next deal and bye-bye Nico. He needs to be gone before the serious decisions that are coming up need to be made. I think so. But I don't think that's going to happen either. I don't think he's going to botch the Nico deal. I think what it comes down to is whether Nico wants to be here long-term or not. And I think that's going to be heavily, predicated on whether he believes there's really a chance to win here or not. And that will obviously depend on, or at least a lot of it will depend on how the rest of this season goes, what other moves are made. But, even in the summer, but we're going to find out. What does Nico want to do? We're not in his head. We don't know. Sook said, I don't think Fitz would have the balls to trade Nico if he thought he would walk. Fitz would probably lose him for nothing somehow, too. I mean, that'd be pretty wild. That would be pretty wild. David S. Where said Mercer gets traded. I have to agree with Dougie and Palat clauses. Fitz will be forced to make any move he can, and that will mean dealing Mercer. It sucks, but he hasn't scored. Dude, that would be crazy. Simply because they're the Leafs, I'm picking the Isles. That's kind of like, they just seem super cursed. Gleason says, the audio a little different today. I'm dying, Gleason. I'm dying. My voice is, I'm battling all kinds of flu-like symptoms. And I'm busted up. Jeremy Proper, can we beat Carolina, or are we back to doom and gloom tomorrow? We're going to find out. We are going to find out. And we're going to be more rested than Carolina because their game starts. Did it start yet? Their game is underway. So you're talking about our game ended at what? Call it a couple hours ago, 5:30. So their game's going to end at 9:30, call it. So yeah, we'll be 4 hours more rested than them. They slept, our guys are going to sleep in their own beds. These guys are going to have to get on a plane, check into the hotel, and do all that. So we have that advantage on top of the home ice. We're also going to be more rested. Even though it's the second one of a back-to-back for the Devils, the Canes are in the same situation. Danino, can't get past the ace. We have two beat reporters. One of them said someone within the organization said it's like a country club where people cash their checks. We have a real cultural problem. It's possible. It's certainly possible. We don't know. But there's definitely reason to believe it could be a problem. I mean, what was it? A couple years ago when Fitz straight up said it was a country club, or was that last offseason? I can't even remember. All of the pressers kind of bleed together, but he straight up said it was a country club and went on to talk about all the different things that need to be cleaned up. So it's a very real concern. Jeremy Proper says 96 Cup rematch, Avs versus Panthers. I'm still somehow hoping the Devils get there, but that certainly would be something. It'd be 30 years later, exactly. I was hoping for the 25 years later rematch from the 2001 finals. Devils Avs would be a rematch 25 years later, and if it's that's from the 2001 finals, and in your proposal, you're looking for a 30-year later rematch, Avs Panthers. Poor Van Beesbrook never had a chance. That Avs team was stacked, and they had Claude Lemieux, 1995 Cup champ with the Devils the year before. So, Jeremy Proper said Robo got hosed. No idea how he wound up on Team USA. Talking about Miller. David Chimes, who's your pick for Olympics? Gold, silver, and bronze. Ooh. I gotta go. with the red, white, and blue for gold. Silver to the Canadians. And bronze, I'm gonna go. Let me see something. I'll go Sweden for bronze. So I'm going USA gold, Canada silver, Sweden bronze. Face said, I feel like we were taking silver. I hope I'm wrong and we take gold, but as much as I really don't care for Olympics. Oh, the Olympics are great. How can you not love the Olympics? Olympic hockey is going to be phenomenal. When did Billy turn into Shooter McGavin? I saw those pictures going around on X. It is kind of funny. There is a resemblance there. Mechanicsville Siegs plays with Kobe there, our best defense last year before the injury. Yeah, I wouldn't want to lose him, but I'm just looking at what are tempting options that are possible. Now, Siegs has trade protection too. We don't know what his list looks like, but it is a road that could be explored. But there's not many options. I mean, oh my God, if it was Mercer, it would be crazy. David Chimes says, I love Colton White. Notice our best call-ups haven't been with Utica too long. What do you think? The stench of losing in Utica like tarnishes these guys? Robbie's bench toss. Miller, Trocheck, Nelson. Guess we didn't learn from Four Nations. We'll see how the chips fall. Left a lot of scoring power off the board, but at least Tage made it. Oh, Tage was not going to be denied. Was not going to be denied. Jeremy Proper says, what B to C plus move does Fitz fumble pull? Are you talking about at the deadline or to free up the cap space? Metalander, apparently Billy G and Jack exchanged encouraging phone calls when Jack was out injured. They had a video of one of the calls. Was on social media the other day. Billy G is such a slick dude. I don't know how you can't love Billy G. What a GM. And like I told you guys a couple weeks ago, he's going to get Quinn to sign there. Mark my words. Nah, it's not tampering. He's a GM of their Olympic team. He's allowed to call them. Richard says, my bad, JS does not have a no move clause. That is really interesting thought and one flying under the radar. No, he has trade protection. Let me see what it is. Everyone on the team has trade protection, including Siegs. Yeah. He also has a modified no trade, so he has a 10-team no trade list. So that's much easier to deal with. He has a list of 10 teams that he will not go to. So that means there's 21 teams you could trade him to. That could be the path of least resistance, and it would suck. Kovacevic is definitely not getting traded, Robert. Number one, the Devils are very high on him. He also has trade protection. And coming off an injury, a lot of teams would be skittish to trade for him. There's no way he's the one getting moved. Yeah, I think it could be Siegs. It could be Siegs. I mean, God, if it was Mercer, though, that would really sting. Mechanics, we don't want to lose Siegs. We want Siegs and Covey. That's a pairing that worked well last season. I think Kovacevic will be fine with whoever. I'm not too worried about it. Mechanicsville says, no, Dougie's foot speed is trash. What are you saying, Ace? Think clearly here. Big picture, we don't want to lose Siegs, then lose Dougie in the summer. I mean, one's left D and one's right D, so I do think you're kind of conflating separate issues here. But even losing Dougie in the summer, there'll be other options, I think, for right D, whether you find maybe a cheaper veteran in free agency or you give a guy like Casey another look, or, you know, someone else that you have in the organization. Let me see something. You know, could Ethan Edwards be a potential? I don't think we'd be like toast in that scenario. I think the D would still be pretty good. We want Siegs long-term, not Dougie. Again, that to me, they're totally separate issues. Metalander, can Covey encode a grievance with the PO over contract breach? If he is truly healthy and has been medically cleared to come back, and they do not bring him back because of the cap issues, that is 100% a grievance filing kind of issue now. I'd have to imagine that he's still not ready to come back despite him practicing, but it seems like forever. Obviously, practicing and skating around is much different than, full contact NHL games. But if it ever came to that point, that could be a thing. I don't think that'll happen. That would be such a black eye for the organization, and I don't know that I've ever heard of any team having something like that. Gleason said, trading our only value defenseman in Siegs would be wild. Next year, every defense would make over $4 million. Can't have that. Not necessarily. That's not necessarily true. What do I think of the Winter Classic yesterday, Jeremy Proper? The Rangers put a smackdown on the Panthers in front of their home fans. Mika Zibanejad, what do you have, 5 points? He hit the Hattie on the empty net. First hat trick in Stadium Series history and had 2 assists to go with it. I mean, that was a thorough beating. That was a thorough beating. Once Blackwood tastes winning, he's not looking back. I think the Avs are going to go far. Devil Evan, West Coast may be stronger. Guess who's out in the first round? The West is going to be wild. Certainly going to be an interesting... I'm dying. Wow. Turco, does all these salary issues mean the Devils are currently paying a total of player salaries above the cap? At worst case for them, it would be slightly over. I do think there is potentially some kind of insurance for this. Again, I'm not an expert at this, the cap stuff, because there's so many moving parts and all these different things. And a lot of it I don't even think is public knowledge, but I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that there is some sort of insurance element to something like this with guys that are injured and obviously still getting paid. So, taking any of those types of things out of consideration, they would be paying a little bit above the cap. But I do think there is an insurance component involved where they're not eating all of that. But it's not a ton over. It's not like using LTIR money. Totally different. Robert, the Devils should get Domi. Love him. That's what this team needs, an agitator. I'm assuming you're talking about Max Domi. I would like any remotely skilled guy with grit. This team has missed it for years. It's an ingredient you desperately need to go far in the playoffs, despite what anybody thinks. And I would love to see it. Now, we have no cap space, guys, to even bring Kovacevic back. So I'm kind of checked out on, talking about these fantasy additions, but it would be nice. John Fay, is it a jinx if I say this might be the first time I've seen the chat this calm and readable with 119 people watching? Could be. It's hard for me to tell because I'm scrolling, but it does seem to be more normal, I guess, or level-headed after wins than losses. Obviously, after losses, people come in here fired up, wanting the world to burn, and the freaking comments are just like negativity flying. I think, and it seems like, there's way less comments after a win. I think, for sure, because I'm getting to most of them. So there is a difference. You're not mistaken. Mechanicsville, it doesn't matter if the contract is easier to move. Are you thinking about the bigger picture here? Lose 2 defensemen in 6 months. Dougie has gone at the latest this summer, so we don't want to move Siegs. Again, man, would you rather lose Mercer? There's no win. Something has to give. Someone has to go to free up the money for Kovacevic. I understand. The reality is you just, I guess, value Siegenthaler more than I do. And I like Siegs, and I think he has value to this team. Do I think the defense is going to collapse if he's gone? No, I don't. Because I think in the moment, or at least the rest of this season, they could put White on the left side, Nemo comes in back on the right side, and I think that defense is just fine. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. And Kovacevic. Siegs is definitely gone, guys. I'm dying. I have a cold and I'm dying, so just bear with me. Yeah, I keep forgetting. There's 2. Yeah, Siegs is definitely gone. There's no way around it. Then who do they put on the... Yeah, Siegs is going to get traded, guys. There's just no way around it. Because you're talking about... Yeah, someone's going to have to play... Yeah, and White's going to be the 7th guy. So then you're talking about a decor. If Siegs gets traded, Nemo, Dougie, Luke, Pesce, Dylan, Kovacevic. Yeah, Siegenthaler's done. I just don't see how that's not the fix. I'm not saying it's ideal, but I think it's more ideal than trading Mercer. Zook said, I'm take it or leave it with like 98% of the players on this team. If they stay and Fitz works out, deal's fine. What I really don't want to see is incompetency. Whatever is done, do it smartly. I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, listen, I do like a lot of these guys, but I'm a disciple of Lou Lamoriello, kids. Crest on the front, not the name on the back. If you could make the team better, do it. And that includes losing guys that some of us may have become attached to. I talk about the Lou deals all the time. Fan favorites traded out, and you're like, wow. And the guys that were brought in go on to be huge pieces of cup-winning teams. B now says, Nico going to go if the locker room's toxic and knows if it is. Obviously, I think there'd be more validity to the that kind of notion or narrative if Nico decides to leave. Obviously, there'd be other things involved as well, but I think that would kind of shine a light maybe on that issue a little bit more. Jeremy Proper, Fitz missing on a milk carton lately, no interviews. He's in WITSEC, witness protection. I got to catch up here. I've fallen behind. John Fay, if Fitz had a brain, we would have a much better roster and probably 3 Bulls on this team would not get bounced in the first round nor the second round. I would like to see some more Bulls. You guys know how I feel about the Bulls, but, you know, we got Timo right now. Would like to see more, but we have no money. Some of these guys need to grow up. Geese Feeder, random. Is it just me or does Jack Hughes hate Ryan Novozinski? He always asks the injury questions that Jack hates to be asked. I don't think so. I just think Jack doesn't like doing media. I mean, very rarely you see him a little more friendly and sometimes, but a lot of times he just seems very indifferent and doesn't want to be doing it. So I get it. I don't think he has anything personally against him. Maybe he does, but I don't think so. He just doesn't like media in general. Turco, Canes are flying to NJ late evening, early morning, hopefully tired from traveling. Yeah, we're going to be 5 hours more rested at a minute. Well, actually more than that, right? Because our game, what did I say before, 5:30, theirs is going to end at 9:30, and then they have a few hours of travel minimum. So, yeah, I mean, we have the advantage in that department. But in the end, will that be enough for this Devils club to get a much-needed win against them tomorrow? We will find out tomorrow at 7 p.m. David, Ace, if you had to be realistic, do you think any team beats Colorado this year regardless of what moves are made at the deadline? Of course, man. This is hockey. This is not the 1996 Chicago Bulls. Like, hockey is a game where great teams, and especially great regular season teams, can be defeated. And a lot of it has to do with matchups, good tweaking by coaches after, within games and after games. And the biggest X factor is goaltending, right? If your goalie gets hot, you could steal rounds. And so I don't think it's this given that Colorado is going to win the cup at all. And their road could be kind of, depending on who they play, it could be kind of a tumultuous road. So I definitely am not picking them to go out in the first round. And if I had to pick someone to win the cup, I would pick them if I'm being honest. But I certainly will not be shocked if they don't win the cup. Winning 16 games in the playoffs is not an easy feat whatsoever. I do think that they're totally beatable. Robert, hypothetical speaking, if the Canes plane malfunctions and they can't come, do they forfeit the game? No. They would like postpone it or something. I'm sure it's happened before. I don't know off the top of my head, but I think something like that has had to have happened. CLW says tomorrow Devils 3, Canes 1. Sign me up. I'll take that all day, every day. Maris is pretty sure Claude is one of 5 to win a cup with 3 teams. 5? Is there 5 guys? That's a pretty good trivia question. Yeah, Claude Lemieux has a Stanley Cup ring with the Montreal Canadiens, 2 with the Devils, and 1 with the Colorado Avalanche. Bonzo says a Marty jersey will never be obsolete. That is correct. None of the old school classics will ever be obsolete. Marty, Stevens, Needs, Danico, Claude Lemieux. Those will be forever relevant. Bax and Rax says, hey, looks like they're playing better without Cotter. The team is so erratic and consistently inconsistent, guys, that I cannot be like, this team's so much better without Cotter. Like, screw Cotter. I'm definitely not going to be that guy. I like Paul Cotter and hope he finds his way back. There's so many other variables in that, but the team did look pretty good tonight. John Fay said, we don't need country club. We need gritty. We need bullies. We need junkyard dogs. We need the entire shebang. Preach, Fay. Preach. You know I've been preaching it. I would love to see it. Those are the guys you need. Now, guys that have these attributes that could also put the puck in the net. They don't have to be 40 goal scorers, but get a couple guys that are like 20 to 30 goal scorers with these attributes. It'd be amazing. Roberts has got to get Pepe on the show, Ace. I'll be a must-see. I'm working on it. Vecna Fitzgerald says Italy winning gold. That will never happen, but that would be one of the biggest upsets in sports history if it did. Paulie's got, interesting, gold USA, silver Canada, and got Germany getting the bronze. What happened in the third? I passed out. Marky's shutout got ruined. That was pretty much it. Chill Ansimo says, if Connor Brown propels us to playing this way the rest of the year, he is my hero. A little nugget dropped by Don LaGreca right before puck drop. Devils are 8-0 in games that Connor Brown scores. Pretty wild. 8-0 in games that Connor Brown scores. Jersey Roots, AO, Ace, and all the other Dirty Devil Barbarians. Victory! What's going on? Victory drinks are phenomenal. Be a real victory if we do it again tomorrow, for sure. So all the Canadian teams, and who are the other 3? What is that in reference to? B now says Minnesota can afford to re-sign Quinn. Not many can. Oh, he's not going anywhere, guys. Billy G's got this under control. Robert, of all the Devils backups I've talked to, Mike Dunham was a jersey off. It was late in the season, and he probably played 8 games, ignored me all game. Are you talking about this is on the island? He was probably furious. There was I don't know if you remember this, but there was 1 year. I want to say it was was it 96, 97? There was 1 year where it may have been 97, 98. I forget. His agent put in his contract that he had to appear. The verbiage was appear in X amount of games. I forget what the number was. And so Lou agreed to it. And there were games with 30 seconds left to get him an appearance. Lou would make the coach pull Marty and send Mike Dunham out there so that it qualified as an appearance. I felt so bad for everybody involved. The coach probably felt terrible. Marty probably felt terrible. Dunham was probably furious. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. And I think they actually did it in a game where Marty had a shutout. Vecna Fitzgerald, the no trade clause is wild to think. When does Covey come back? No idea. I would say sometime in the next month. I think that was the original timeline. It seems like he's getting closer, but who knows? Who knows? My boy Hall just scored 2 goals in 90 seconds for Nashville. Again, prime example of a guy. New environment, new line mates, new team, new city. Bang. He has more points this year than he probably did. Let's see. Yeah, he has 16 points this year in 40 games. I don't even know if this is updated to include the goals that he scored tonight. Oh, no. 21 points. Sorry. So I don't even know if that's updated, including tonight's goals. It might not be. Through 40 games, he had 21 points. He had 21 points all of last year with the Devils in 69 games. He's going to smash that. Sometimes a new environment, new team does wonders for guys, and Hall is another example of that. They're coming soon. They're coming soon. Maybe next week. Vince, last 4 periods of player consistent. I'd love to see it continue in such a manner. Good to see Marky get the dub. Let's go Devils. Hopefully. We've seen a lot of inconsistency from this team. I'm not going to get too excited until we see a stretch of like a solid month of mostly good hockey. John Fay, I just saw something on the gram from DraftKings Sportsbook predicting the next 50 Stanley Cups, and it said we are to win 2 cups. 1 cup in 2055. Oh, my God. And another one in 2071. Holy shit. That's terrible. Austin, the question, who is going to go on the Devils when Covey comes back? We don't know. Could be Siegenthaler. We just talked about this. Just could be. Robert said NHL should just be like the NFL. Just release players that don't perform. If you're not doing your job, get fired like the rest of us. Problem solved. It would be interesting if the league ever went to that, right? Like the NFL situation. You just cut guys. You're like, see ya. Suk says it's crazy to lose a top defensive guy because of horrible cap management. Well, I mean, it'd be horrible to lose Mercer too. To lose anybody for a situation like this is pretty bad. B now says Sieg's gone is dumb. He harder to replace than Mercer. Maybe not. Well, just positionally, I'm going to say no. Because we have so much more defensive depth than forward depth, I would always prefer to trade Siegenthaler out of those 2 guys for that reason. Like, we just have more defensemen. Pro Bowl says I'm still concerned about the potential Nemitz, Hischier, and Gritsuk extensions. Well, the Nico one wouldn't kick in until the season after next, so I'm not worried about that. The Grits and Nemo extensions, I'm certainly worried about them because we've seen what has happened the last 2 off seasons with restricted free agents. We saw it drag on into camp with Dawson Mercer, and we saw it drag on well into camp with Lukehughes this year. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but both these guys are going to get paid. James, what's going on? Cheers, Ace. I was really hoping to see Siegs drop the gloves with Jersey, but a win is a win. He's not a great fighter. Old school simple hockey. Gleason, we something forwards more, but Siegs is more valuable than Mercer as a low scoring winger. We can't afford to lose any winger though. Yeah, we have more defensive depth. It's the reality of the situation. Austin said we got to keep the wins going consistently, and I think if we beat the Carolina Hurricanes tomorrow, then we will make a statement. Look out, here come the Devils. I'm not going to be quite there yet. I'll be thrilled for beating them though. Metalander, we're going to learn some things about this core during the Olympics. If the level in play increases where it's important to them. Very high-level hockey games. What are they going to look like? I'm sure Jack is going to want to look much better than he did in 4 Nations. B now said I would trade a lot. I mean, a lot for a Brady guy in Ottawa. Oh, so would I, but that's a pipe dream. Michaels, what's up, Ace? Hope you're feeling okay. I'd rather lose a defenseman with a ton of AHL players waiting in the wings. Casey Salayev, Orlev. What do we have in terms of winger to fill a trade? We don't. We don't. So I agree. We have more defensemen than forwards. We've seen the Utica cupboard. Hopefully, Haminaho's ready to be an NHL player soon. Maybe that's a next year situation. But because of poor drafting and some other things, we don't have a lot of forward depth, unfortunately. Austin said we can't make any trades. We have no cap space. People, I know. We have none. We can't even bring back Kovacevic. Let's make it 3. Yeah, it'd be nice. Tomorrow will be 3 in a row. It's been a while. Tasha's back. Welcome back. Cisco Kid, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Jersey Roots, I'm concerned about Jack playing in the Olympics. The dude's more frail than my Nana. Come on. He's going to play in the Olympics, and hopefully he has a good showing, and hopefully it, gives him some confidence, and he comes back and is better for it as a New Jersey Devil. James, no one who has won the President's Trophy has ever won the Stanley Cup. That's not true. There's tons of teams that have. There is like a President's Trophy curse kind of, but there is cup winners that won the President's Trophy. This is hockey. Colorado can get pounds. Depends on who they play. Let me see something. There's definitely several teams that won both. 8 teams have won both the President's Trophy and the Cup in the same season. The most recent was the 12-13 Blackhawks. The Red Wings did it in 07-08 and 01-02. Avalanche did it in 2001, unfortunately, when they beat the New Jersey Devils in the Cup Finals. Terrible. The 98-99 Dallas Stars, the 93-94 Rangers, 88-89 Calgary Flames, and the 86-87 Edmonton Oilers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 8 teams have done it. That's obviously a low percentage, right? Like, the odds are if you win the President's Trophy, you're not winning the Cup by odds, because only 8 teams have ever done it. Yeah, I just read that off. Amagi said, was given free tickets to today's game, and boy, I'm glad I went. You saw a good one, man. You saw a very good one. Sunrise, I only said Colorado getting primed to get ousted in the first round, as the irony seems to happen often. Cisco, great point. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, anyone could be a cup winner. The Devils beat the Detroit Red Wings 4-0 to win. Wings were a monster that year. Everyone thought the Devils were going to get swept. It wasn't going to be a series, and then the Devils swept them. What a beautiful time. What a time. First cup in Devils history. Michael says, Italy is coached by my old neighbor, ex-Princeton men's hockey coach. That's amazing. Oh. I'm speeding ahead here. Unbeaten in 2026. That's right, traveling. Unbeaten. John Fay, I don't think the Avs will be bounced in the first round. I think they'll be bounced in at least conference finals, maybe second round. Yeah, I could see that. Robert said, speaking of Pepe, when is his jersey and number being hung up? Never. Never, but he should definitely be in the Ring of Honor, not a jersey retirement. You have to keep that for the top of the top, but he's definitely worthy of the Ring of Honor. Natasha says Nemo will want Luke's contract, and I say Grits should get a bridge deal. I think everyone's going for the money. I could see Nemo. I mean, and it would make sense. If I was Nemo, I'd ask for that same contract too. Grits is a little bit more of a wild card to me, but I don't think he's going to want a bridge deal. I think he's going to want to get paid too, but who knows? Maybe he does take a bridge. It's another interesting one. Hopefully it doesn't end in a holdout extended. There's options. Someone's going to have to play an offside, but there's certainly options. You can call it from today's lineup. If Siegs was traded, it'd be Siegs and White out, Nemo and Kovacevic in. Someone's going to have to play their offside and play on the left. Suk says the franchise valuing Luke over Nemitz is going to haunt them for years to come. I mean, how do you know that's even true, though? They've never said that. You don't know that that's the case. Markey's $6 million is for next year and the year after. This year, Markey is making. There is retention from Calgary. Let's see. Come on. Markey is making $6 million and Calgary retained almost $2 million. So the Devils are paying him $4.125. Sit Dougie down, make him wave. I don't think that'll work. I think he'll be like, okay. I could see him being like, pay me not to play. I'll stay here. Like I don't think he's going anywhere. Damage. I've been saying Devils need to put Hughes, Hischier, Bratt together as a first line for 3 years now. Finally, a coach did it. Yeah, and it wasn't really fully by choice. It was because, Jack's injury, and they wanted to throw him on wing. No, we beat Colorado in OT. Jack Hughes at the Rock. Jack Hughes scored an OT winning goal at the end of October against the Avs. Doug, thank you for the super. Wish I could have witnessed Devils hockey in the 90s. Listen, man, I wish for you that you could have as well. It was an experience. It certainly was an experience. You can relive it secondhand going down the YouTube rabbit hole. It's obviously nowhere near the same, but it's better than nothing. You can watch big-time moments and things on YouTube and maybe get some sort of level of appreciation for the legends from the golden years of this franchise. I am so fortunate that I was able to be a fan during those times and witness it firsthand and, meet these guys and talk to them and go to the games. It really was amazing. It was an amazing time. I highly recommend going down the hole and doing some research. But thank you very much, Doug. I lost my spot here. Yeah, screw that Avalanche team. The whole Ray Bork 16W thing. Oh, God, it was nauseating. B now. Grit Duke, big surprise of the season, top 6 out of nowhere. I do like him on the third line, personally. I'm very curious how this all shakes out long term, where he's going to kind of settle. And we'll see. But I do think the team was the best balance when he was on the third line. But we'll see. There's a chance that he stays on the second line. He's played a lot of second line minutes this year. And it makes sense, right? We don't have a ton of options. Danino, it's crazy. If Fitz doesn't have a plan, seems like he doesn't. I like what Brown has brought, but minus Brown and Dad, the cap room was there. Amazing he didn't have a plan. I mean, are you surprised? Not having a plan cost us Quinn Hughes. Like, he became available, and we didn't have the space to facilitate the deal immediately, and Billy Guerin swooped right on in. Honky Lips says, Ace, drink some tea with whiskey and honey. You'll feel right as rain, my man. I definitely have whiskey here. I don't know about tea or honey. Maybe I'll go out into the world to get those items. Honky Lips, today was mascot day. They gave out NJ Devil lunch boxes. I don't need the 2 we got. If anyone wants one, let me know. I'm sure someone would love to have those for their kids or something in the chat. Amazing that Fitz doesn't have a plan. Without signing Brown and Dodonov, he'd be fine. How do you sign those guys without a real plan? Not that Brown hasn't been good. How do you have no plan? Well, first of all, I think we'd be cooked without Connor Brown right now. So let me just say that firstly. Secondly, I do think it circles back to a potential Dougie Hamilton deal. I think that Fitz thought, for whatever reason, whether it was based on conversations he had in the summer or whatever else, that he thought he would have a much easier time being able to trade Dougie. And here we are now where it's anything but easy. And I think that's kind of, he had all of his eggs in that one basket, I think. Brian J says, we need a win tomorrow so bad. I would love to see it. Would love to see it. Metalander, it's too early to tell, but I think Nemo has the gift of clutch scoring, not so much. I mean, I would have to agree. I mean, guy scored a double overtime playoff winner last year, then had a hat trick in overtime this year, a different OT winner, a shootout winner. Then he had a late 5 seconds left in the third period one to tie up the Islanders. Yeah, the big time goals that he's already scored this season alone are insane. Damage says, let's hope Dodonov and McEwen get back here after Olympics. That'll give us the grit we've been looking for. I have no faith for Dodonov, and in my opinion, like, he's not even on the team. Like, I don't even factor him into anything when I think about it. McEwen, definitely. I think he could be a great fourth line piece. Dodonov, I don't even calculate him in as a real player at this point. Maybe he'll get a chance. Maybe he won't. I don't know. That just did not work out, obviously. You know, we're halfway through the season. What has he played, like 3 games? I played 5 and registered no points. Like, I'm all set on him personally. Michaels, thank you for the super. Ace, I hope your victory beverage was Robitussin. I have something like Robitussin in addition to that I've been drinking regularly with the high noons. It's working a little bit. Yeah, being sick sucks. I hate it. I don't get sick often, but it really does suck. Nemo the clutch master. Jason says Luke just needs way more development than we thought. I mean, that could be, depends on who you ask, right? But 22 years old, guys. It's going to take some time. Not everybody looks like a veteran in year 3 or 4, if you want to count his, you know, couple games in his true rookie season. I don't think they're going to buy Dougie out, but he can't be bought out now. The buyout window's in the summer. I forget what the penalty is, but it's a pretty hefty penalty. And I think he's owed a bonus payment or something the way his contract is structured. So, like, I don't think that's going to happen. But it physically cannot even happen until the summer. John Face says 90s Devils hockey was an entire different ball game, I feel like. Oh, it certainly was. It certainly was. The Devils used to have grown men. You're damn right. Beasts. Cape Dar says 2 goals for Halla tonight in Calgary after 1 period in his 800th game. Wow. Good for Halla. You're next. Famous Scott Stevens quote during the 1995 Stanley Cup Finals. What a moment. Gleason says, remember, we could also have another $1 million in cap if Fitz managed better, so we didn't have a bonus overage penalty from Luke's bonus that carried over. Luke basically is costing $10 million right now. Yeah, I mean, listen. In the grand scheme of things, not ideal, but there's far more pressing issues, like the fact that you have to free up all this money. You know, I don't know that the 1 million would have made a huge difference, honestly, in the grand scheme of what we're talking about. Like, someone's going to have to go one way or another. Natash says, Dougie's checked out, guys. He's been asked to waive twice, and he has declined. Yeah, he's chilling. He's not going to a place he doesn't want to go to. Zelapukin's goal on Richter. Classic. It's a shame they had to lose that series. Natasha, bro, we already know Hall's going to have a hattie when the Preds come to town this month. I certainly hope not. That would be horrible. Suk says, I don't blame him for telling the team to F off when asked. Fitz gave it to him. He has the right to exercise it. I kind of agree. Like, as much as it might be hindering the team now, like, they ask for those for a reason. And if you gave it to him, he could tell he has every right to be like, no. It's unfortunate, and it is what it is. Sunrise, I'll never forget watching those cup runs. Once I got to skate with some of the players at a signing event and shook Scott Stevens' hand amongst others. Dude was a total unit. Yeah, Scotty was a truck, man. Hockey players were built different back then. Literally built different. Natasha said, I want an IQ test done on Fitz for personal inquiry. I want the I told you so when I see 62. Oh, man. Gleason said, I still think the most exciting thing we've ever done is sign Kovalchuk, hands down. I mean, it was exciting, but I can't put that up there with cup wins. Cheers, Robert. Have this one, too. All right, that one's done. Being sick sucks. That's where I'm at, Jersey Roots. I'm like, he's not even on the team. John Fay, McEwen could bring the body, though, and that's something we need. No, I like him. I think he could be a great fourth liner. With the few games you saw him play, I liked he stuck out. He gets in on the forecheck. He's big. He could skate. He could hit. He could fight if he has to. I like him a lot. I hope he comes back soon, but, like, we don't know what's up with him. He might have, like, a severe injury. We obviously have no idea what it is. Yeah, 1 year for Dodonov. So that was a failed experiment, and we're done. McEwen ends at is signed for this year, I believe. Yep, last year of his deal. He'll be a free agent in the summer. Slavasaurus, Glendenning looked good in preseason, but hasn't done much. Glad he got a point tonight. Yeah, it was a big face-off win. Listen, you know, in the role he plays, he's not going to put up a ton of points, obviously. Would like to see more, but in the end, he's decent on face-offs. He gets in on the forecheck. He could do a little bit of everything. I'm not mad at him. I would prefer a slightly more offensive kind of fourth-line center, but he's definitely an upgrade over Dowling, in my opinion. Would like to see a bigger upgrade. Gabagool says Dougie isn't leaving and people need to accept that, and Fitz forcing him out would look really bad to the rest of the team. Well, he can't force him out. He literally cannot force him out. The beauty of trade protection. Three 3-1 Canes. Oh, man. Don't count the Avs out. It's not over yet. Jason, if Fitz can't make any real additions to this team, they're not a cup contender at all with this roster. I completely agree, but I will always hold out hope that just get into the playoffs and go on a miracle run. If you get a hot goalie and some things go right, anything could happen, and I'm always going to stick with that kind of optimism, and we'll see. That's all we could hope for. I think at this point, with the consistency issues, we've kind of seen what this group is and the deficiencies that I think will be, further exposed in the playoffs when that intensity ratchets up. But just get to the playoffs and hope for the best. Obviously, I would like to see some additions to the team, but we don't even have money. We don't even have money to bring Kovacevic back. So talking about trade additions is kind of wild. Glendenning's no Bobby Holik. Of course not. I mean, there's not many guys in the league today that I would even put on par with Bobby Holik. Bobby's a straight up legend, monster of a man, total bull. Faye says he agrees. Snow. Robert, I remember that Zella Pukin goal against Richter. He bumped the ref hard. You think that ref would have gotten out alive? If he did, you can't touch the ref. The good old days. Jay Snow, we've had great goaltending lately and we can't score. Oh, it was nice to see him get some today. Glendenning sucks at 4C. I mean, I'd like to see something more. But we have no depth. It would be nice to bring in a real 3C and push Cody Glass to 4C. If that's not possible, again, because we have no cap space, it'd be nice to somehow find an upgrade for 4C. And dare I say, at this point, because I had higher hopes to bring in a 3C, but now they're kind of dead with the cap space stuff, maybe it is worth reaching out to Michael McLeod for a potential 4C upgrade. Bastian got dropped to the minors with Dallas? That's brutal. It says he got sent on a conditioning stint. I don't really know what that is. That like a legit thing or what? As I said, we don't need country club. We need bullies. We need junkyard dogs. We need those gritty guys, forecheckers and back checkers. Yeah, we do, but we have no money. We have no money. Jason, I wish we had any 4C in Utica that was decent. Yeah, obviously, but we don't. We got nothing. Jeremy Proper says, Kane blow their load tonight. We sneak a win tomorrow against the backup. That'd be nice. Bobby Holik wasn't a career fourth liner. He was a fourth liner on the 95 Cup team. The crash line. What an amazing what an amazing team that was. Yeah, but I don't think it's going to happen. And to his credit, Glass has looked pretty good at 3C. I have to give him that. But him at 4C would make the team much better. But we're not bringing in a 3C. We have no money to even bring Kovacevic back. We need guys to win board battles. Bobby Holik, yeah, but that was 1 year. I mean, he wasn't for a career, like no one would consider him a fourth liner. Natasha Glendenning, such an upgrade over Dowling, though. I like how much he gives in the compete and the face-offs. The fourth line a few years ago was nice. BMW, yep. That was a great one. McDavid has 72 points. Crazy. Crazy. Take care, Alex. Jay Snow, look at the cup contenders. They have really good 3Cs. Yeah, I mean, center depth is very important for cup winning teams. I mean, most teams that go far in the playoffs, they have a decent, a decent group of centers. Like it is very important. It would be nice if we were able to grab another one from somewhere, but again, we don't have money to even activate Kovacevic. Natasha, imagine if Fitz didn't see the league interest in Glass and didn't re-sign him. Glendening would be our 3C. He probably would have found somebody else. I don't know who it would have been, but he would have found somebody. I mean, if we went into the season with that, you're asking for, for miracles at that point. All right, folks, I'm running to the bathroom real quick. Start winding this down. Appreciate everyone for coming out. Cheers to all of you. I'll leave the stats on the screen. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Questions, comments, suggestions, whatever you got, throw it out there. I'm going to go probably catch the rest of some of these games afterwards. But I'll be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Wow. Back. Let me see what we got here. Trade Covey in a third for a 3C. Kovacevic also has trade protection, and the team is high on him. He's not going anywhere. And like I said before, teams aren't going to be lining up to trade for a guy coming off a 7-month, 8-month injury. Jersey Roots, like and subscribe, all you filthy animals. Thanks. Hit the thumbs up for your boy, and obviously subscribe if you haven't. I don't know what you're waiting for. Nah, bro, at the winding down. What am I gonna stay on here all night? I'm dying, man. I'm dying, and like we're fading towards the end here. It has a natural arc. It starts one way, and then it just kind of, yeah. Kobe's not getting traded. 24 hits to 28, not bad. 1 for 3 on the power play. I'd prefer 3 for 3. Yeah, obviously 3 for 3. We're getting greedy, 100%. But 2 for 3 would have been nice. But yeah, I mean, 1 for 3 is 33%. You can't be mad at that. That's a pretty solid. 33% is a great power play percentage. Be now top 2 centers. It's going to be, in my opinion, Jack and Nico. I think Mercer is better at wing, and I think when Jack is healthy, he'll be back at center. I think. I saw that about Dawes to the KHL. I don't even know how that works. I don't even think he can. So it was a weird thing. Like some weird account posted it. I'm not putting any stock into that. I don't know why he wouldn't just ride out the rest of the season in Utica and then sign with a different team in the offseason. I couldn't see him. I don't think he could just leave. So I don't know. I think that's a bunch of weird stuff. Yeah, 30 shots, 60 shots, shot a minute. Robert Ace, you remember the Avery Marty playoff game? The Devils just couldn't score, and Sutter double shifted Asham to send a message. It didn't work, but need Keefe to send messages to players. Well, the first small message was sent today. Paulie Cotter was scratched for Lamico. I mean, that's not, a lot of people have been calling to healthy scratch big names, which I told you guys from the beginning I never thought was going to happen. And I still don't think it will. But, Cotter being scratched, it's kind of a first little, I don't know what you want to call it, disciplinary action of some kind. Natasha, yikes. Lazar only played 20 games, 2 goals this season. Yeah. I mean, Laser's never going to light it up. We'll call it soon. See, I've been in bed for the better part of like a week. Pretty much. It's been a rough go. I hope I'm over this shit soon. It's terrible. Slabosaur says, rest up, Ace, save it for the victory stream tomorrow. I'd love more victory drinks tomorrow. It's been what did I say? It was October 21st and 22nd. So 2 months, almost 2.5 months since we've had back-to-back victory drinks. We'd have more goals if we shot on the power play. Yeah. Jersey Roots, I forced all my neighbors to subscribe to your channel. I was like, do it or else. I appreciate that. Thank you. Vecna Fitzgerald, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this month of freeing up cap space. It is. Siegs, I think, could be a guy that finds himself on the outside looking in just because there's not many other options. Traveling, what's going on? Throwback jerseys are great in the Canes versus Avs game. I'm looking forward to catching the end of it, or I guess half of it by the time I get off here. And John Fay, I wonder if the Devils will ever redo a throwback jersey. I would like to see it at some point. I've told you guys, like, I'm over the red, white, and green. I certainly respect it from a historical thing. I would never want it to be like a full-time alternate or third jersey, but if somehow it was like a game or two, I'd be fine with it. But I fully, you guys know what I want. The next alternate third jersey, whatever you want to call it, should be black, and it should either be a very slightly modified, if any, of the Devils old school black starter jersey, or the inverse of the Stadium Series jersey. Both would be phenomenal. Both would send the fans into a frenzy. Both would be great sellers. Both would look great on the ice. I just really hope it is not, in my opinion, it'd be a huge fail if it's not black, number one, and if the Devils' main logo is not the main logo on the jersey. Like the jersey, the font could be like on the, on a sleeve patch, or maybe like on the rear hem, something like that I'm cool with, but I don't want to see that as the main logo. It should be our classic, iconic, beautiful New Jersey Devils logo. Natasha Keefe loves scratching Cotter. Yeah, I know. He was scratched last year too. Yeah, they're only going to well, I guess the other guys you wouldn't consider scratches. They're just bottom 6 pieces swapped in and out. But in terms of a regular, yeah. John Fay, Ace, let's do one more victory drink before we shut it down and prepare for tomorrow. I actually had 2, so here's my first empty. I'm working on this one. I guess I'll finish this one. Yeah, I'm dying. It's just that time of year, man. The winter flu and all the germs and shit. Yeah, everyone's sick right now. Terrible. I know so many people sick too. Natasha, I was coughing a bit earlier, but I think it's because I went to an open skate and forgot my jacket for the walk to the arena and it was freezing. Got to bundle up. Feel better, brother. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate that. Vecna Fitzgerald, I still can't believe Tom has a job here after all the BS. It's kind of wild. Jason, no, I don't like the Stadium Series at all. The inverse of it you wouldn't like? You might be in you're definitely in the minority there. You wouldn't like a flipped version of that? Black jersey with the big red logo? It'd be sick. All of the yellow, blue, and red. Oh, you're talking about the reverse retro too? I'm kind of over that too. That was like a one and done. It was cool, but I don't want to see anything like that again either. Natasha, I was so high on Lamico coming into the season too. Based on what, Tasha? I mean, guy was out of the league for several years. Did you really think he was going to do something? I mean, I hate to say it. It was obvious what his production was going to look like. It was going to be a bottom 6 guy that doesn't do much. I mean, not needle moving whatsoever. Jason said supposedly one of the owners is always at the games, according to Novo. Blitzer's there often, but if we're being honest, like, what does that mean necessarily? Being at a game, like, you're at a game, but what, does he even know what he's watching? I have no idea. He does go to a lot of games. I've seen him there, but that doesn't mean that much to me, if I'm being honest. Given everything that we've seen, being at the games does not translate into, I would say, being in the know or kind of having your finger on the pulse of the team. I mean, that might, just showing up for games might be more than some owners do for other teams, but I'm not going to put a crazy amount of stock in that and think that that means like something more than what it does. And to me, it's just a rich guy who has a helicopter that could go to games and, be home and probably, I think he lives in the DC area. So they take off from the top of the arena. He's probably home in like 45 minutes. Jeremy Proper, Kame's top line last 2 games, 7 goals, 8 assists. Wow, that's pretty nice. So maybe an inverse. I said the inverse, my guy. It's never going to be the regular ones. Those were one and done. But the inverse would be pretty cool. Face it, I would like that all-black jersey with a deep, dark red logo. Beanhouse is almost 9 p.m. on a 3 p.m. day game. Let the dude rest soon. NJDevils 28, what's going on? Let's go. We're beating the Mammoth. Now we got to find a way to beat the Canes. It would be phenomenal. Beating the Canes tomorrow would be beautiful. Vecna Fitzgerald, Blitzer's at the game eating food. That's about it. And somewhat watching the game. Robert, I love the big N they wore during the Flyers outdoor game. So, yeah, it's a Stadium Series jersey. That one's done, but I would love the inverse. The inverse meaning a black jersey with the big red logo. Tasha, based on fumes, Ace, an absolute delusion. I love the random pull Fitz did getting him in his name. I mean, yes, the inverse, Snow. When I saw when we got him, I'm like, where did this even come from? And it was definitely someone was looking at a chart or some analytics person, convinced Fitz that this was going to be a beneficial move. And while the guy's not terrible, like it's not what I always call them needle moving moves. Like that's not moving the needle. So it's just a depth move that means not much. Blitzer with the helicopter. Yes, that is Blitzer leaving with the helicopter, Tasha. Right off the roof of the building. It must be nice to have FU money. Really must be. Just taking a helicopter anywhere you want. Sick. Man, if I had a helicopter, it's obviously not the same as a jet. He probably has a jet too. But, the choppers for, East Coast. You just stay on the coast in the chopper. And you could go anywhere you want fairly quickly. Yeah, hit the like. Thanks. Yes, no, I said the inverse. Maybe you're deaf, Snow. No, I'm kidding. I'm dying. Maybe, my voice is. Oh, my God. Cheers to all of you. And, appreciate you guys always, and even more so for dealing with the death voice. The death voice is a rough one. Jersey Roots, anyone ever see Celtic Pride with Dan Aykroyd? You might have to do something similar with Dougie, Palat, and Fitz. I'm game if you guys are. And is that the one where they kidnap somebody? Not Tasha. Lamico gives underwhelming a new meaning. He did pop off that one game and had 2 sick assists. Yeah, but you'll get moments like that, but that's pretty much it. For most games, he's not going to have a huge impact. Jason takes the chopper to the jet. That's interesting. I wonder if that is the case. If it's chopper to jet, or I assumed for some reason it was chopper the whole way, but you could be right. It probably is chopper to the jet. Yeah, I'd be kind of. I've never been in a helicopter for a long time. I think I went on a helicopter tour years ago. It was very brief and it wasn't super high up. But in terms of taking a helicopter long distances, I think I'd be bugged out personally. Yeah, cold season has been brutal. I know millions of sick people, including myself. As much as I want FU money so badly, it would be nice, but I don't fixate on it. It's not going to happen. I wasn't born into wealth, and so, I'll just settle for comfortable. I don't need a jet or a helicopter. It would be cool, but not in the cards. Jay Snow, I'd be in warm weather, not in New Jersey. I know. I was thinking of, the Devils go anywhere warm anytime soon? I was looking for an excuse to get the hell out of here. The winter has really got me depressed. No, that's all. Let's see. February. Yeah, so nowhere. Wow. And those are 2 home games. Then we get the break. And then in March. Yeah, what's the weather in Dallas in March? Let's see. Temperature in Dallas in late March. That's a kind of a swing. Average highs 70 to 73. Average lows 47 to 54. I could see like a 47 to 73. I mean, that would be a blessing compared to what we have in New Jersey right now. I'd play the part so well. I think most people would. Honky Lips, took me 45 minutes to get out of Newark today after the game. Yeah, it's brutal, man. I'm not going to lie. I pretty much very brisk jog to where I park. And I park a little bit on the outskirts because it's a very easy exit. So after years of going to these games, I've found I need the cleanest exit strategy from the city of Newark. And it's parking a few blocks from the arena. And so I jog out of the arena and start cooking past people, get to the car. And that's when it's Bruce Wayne Batmobile time. And I'm flying through those roads in Newark to get to the highway, to get to you fine folks on the post-game live in an orderly fashion. But I've been stuck in some brutal messes getting out of there. It can get messy. NJDevils28, subscribe for your boy. Appreciate you. Yeah, if you're not subscribed yet, I mean, what the hell what are we waiting for? I got a ton of cool stuff in the works. I will say it is now official. I will be going to the Winter Olympics in Italy. And I will be doing tons of vlogs. I don't know. I have to look into a bunch of things. I don't know the feasibility of lives from there, but I'm going to look into it. And if I can, I'll try to do some. But I'm definitely going to be doing a bunch of vlogs and video stuff from Italy, which will include, the game experiences, touristy stuff, and obviously tons and tons of food. I will be just stuffing my face and traveling the country of Italy, or at least, whatever's in the vicinity of Milan where the games are taking place. But I do look forward to that. It will be pretty cool. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm hoping USA could get it done. I've always wanted to go to Italy. It's been on my bucket list. Had never gone as of yet. And Olympic hockey, many of you know, international best on best hockey. I'm a huge fan. I was able, while it's nowhere near the same thing, I did attend in 2016. One of the early games in Columbus was it was actually a Canada USA like pre-tournament game when they did the World Cup in 2016. I went to that, and then obviously I went to a few Four Nations games this past season, but never was able to go to the Olympics. The Olympics is totally different level. And I told myself, as a gift to myself, I must go. 2 bucket list items at once: Italy, Olympic hockey. Let's run it. And it is going to be phenomenal. So there'll be some interesting videos coming out of that. Yeah, the winter's brutal. What happened to global warming? I'm curious myself now. Global warming, it seems like it's a global freezing. The winters in New Jersey are brutal. Vecna, we appreciate you too, cuz. Thank you, Vecna Fitzgerald. I appreciate that. Jeremy Proper, 2 L's for the Avs this season in regulation, about to be 3. Well, I mean, how much time is left in the game? You're calling them out already? I mean, they got sniper weapons. Oh, they got a whole period. They're down 2. You're calling them dead already? I hope the Avs open them up in the 3rd. Who's in net? The wedge. Ooh, the wedge is a little leaky tonight. 3 goals on 17 shots. Got to tighten it up. Faye, honestly, you know what a great and fun jersey would be. We pull a book out of the Rangers. Instead of the Statue of Liberty, we have NJ Devil holding his pitchfork. That could be ridiculous and amazing all at once. Amagi, thank you for the super blitzer. Watching them lose live, going, oh shucks. If he was there early on in the season, he saw a great record through. Shit, I think their first loss at home wasn't until what, December? When was that Islander game? Maybe late November. The weeks are flying by, guys. It's crazy. Yeah, it was late. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's November 10th. Okay. That's still a month into the season, though. Damn, I was at that game. That was already almost 2 months ago. My God. Weeks and months are flying by. Years are flying by. We're all old. Yeah, the 3-2 Islanders lost in overtime. Oh, yeah, so that's what – they didn't lose in regulation until November 29th against the Flyers. Chopper to the jet. Yeah, that's it could be the chopper to Teterboro. That's like extreme wealth stuff. Chopper to the jet, because I don't know how long of a ride that is in a car. It's not that long, but I guess in a chopper, it's probably like minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe. That's probably what it is, though. It probably is chopper to the jet. Wow. A black jersey with a red devil holding a pitchfork resembling the Rangers Liberty uniform with Devils colors and related. Taj says no. Just being able to speak your mind or be rude and snarky in public and feeling justified because you're filthy rich. I don't need a helicopter. I mean, you could do that as a poor person, just so you know, Tasha. You could have that. You could bring that same energy with not a dollar to your name. No, January and February are super depressing, cold, dark, early, just brutal. Could not agree more. I hate it. Hate it. Jeremy Proper, love my 50-degree low temps down here in South Florida. Sorry, I'm jealous. Super jealous. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. People like different stuff. I don't know if people will like it. Maybe they will. I'm going to have fun filming some of it. For sure. Always wanted to go walk around, see the sights, and eat tons of food. I am pumped for the food, and I'm pumped for the hockey. The hockey is going to be amazing too. I plan on going to all of the USA games, which I think at a max would be 7 or 8. Depending, because they could get the way it's set up, they could get a bye to the quarterfinals if they win their bracket or the second high. I don't know. There's a way where they could play one less game if they finish high enough in the early games. So it'd either be 7 or 8 games. So we'll see. Man, people might like it, they might not. People like different stuff. I don't know, but it seems like in the past people like vlogs, so we'll see. Sook running, I swear YouTube unsubscribed me from your channel, so subscribe again. I'll be living vicariously through. Robert, how about a dark black with N like you're wearing Ace for a third jersey? It's got to be the whole Devils logo. This is not even an N. This is just kind of like, a weird little design, but that's not an N. It's got to be the full Devils logo. I'll take it without the circle, like the Stadium Series jersey. It's far less than you think, Snow. I mean, you could spend a fortune if you stay at crazy places, or you could do it affordably, but go look online. It's nowhere near what people think. If I'm being real, it's not a lot at all. Faye says, Mr. Rich over here going to Italy. No, I'm certainly not rich by any stretch. And it wasn't that much money. It's something I had been planning on for quite a while since it was announced. So I've been kind of saving a little money here and there over time in preparation for it, because I knew it was coming. Like it probably will get fairly expensive when it's all said and done. Like with the tickets and and it still won't be that crazy all in, but like I had paid for the tickets, I think like maybe not a year ago. I forget what month. It was a long time ago. So like the game tickets were bought forever ago. And so, I just planned over time. It typically is expensive, but if you look into it, it's not that crazy. And I don't know if I could divulge, but I will be hanging out with one of our regulars here, and we will be tearing up Italy together. It is going to be extremely fun. Natasha, I was trying to convince my dad to pull me from school and go to the Olympics because we're newly dual citizens, so it's somewhat cheaper somehow, I think. Wait, you're a dual citizen of Italy, Tasha, or a citizen of where? Honky Lip says Northern Italy is beautiful. Been there a few times. I've never been, and I am fired up. After this game tonight, I'm probably going to be in the rabbit hole of different things. But my buddy that I'm meeting up with is an expert, and so he's got a lot of stuff in store, but I am going to go down the rabbit hole on the internet and just poke around and see if there's anything that catches my eye, because there is a lot of games, so there's not a lot of downtime like to go super far, but it will be interesting. The Four Nations content was sick. Oh, thank you, Tasha. Appreciate that. I don't remember. And again, I told you guys, I never set out to do this or anything for views. But if I'm not mistaken, I thought the Four Nations stuff, views-wise, did not do great. And again, that's not why I do it, and I don't care. It's just interesting to see what people respond to and what they don't. Be Now vlog Italy Olympics, at least a couple shows, but that'll be amazing. Oh, there's going to be tons of vlogs. That'll be a whole series, probably. I'll probably start it, including the preparation leading up to it. I'll probably do a bunch of stupid stuff, like me packing my shit, flipping through the stuff in the closet, what I'm picking. Natasha, my question, though, is, Ace, how much devil stuff are you going to pack? So, honestly, not much, because I have so much USA stuff. I basically have, like, a USA wardrobe, too. So, probably not much. I'll have to bring a few things. Obviously, a hat, maybe, a hoodie or jersey, potentially, but I certainly will have a lot of USA gear. Robert, I think all the good Italian NHL players should join Team Italy, be a good team. I mean, I think most of them are probably disqualified if they've played for any other country at any level. I don't know what the exact rules are, but like Pesce, like for example, like, yeah, he's Italian, but he's really American, right? So I don't think it works that way. I'm actually not even sure what the exact criteria is, but you'd be surprised. There wouldn't be that many. Traveling with the flag. Avs 0 for 3 on the power play. Wow. Not good. Cape Dillard, Hartford, Quebec, Adams division rivalry. Those were the days. Oh, the old NHL is beautiful. What a time. Natasha, pitchfork jersey idea would actually be very interesting. Brady got sucker punched. By who? Logan Stanley sucker punched him. Interesting. Can't seem to beat them. Are you talking about the Flyers? We'll get them. Samuel, Ace, life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer to the end you get, the faster it goes. It certainly seems that way, man. And my mother always told me that, but like, it's crazy. Months just fly by, and like full years. Like, I was thinking about something the other day, and I was talking to my nephew, and I'm like, I wonder how long ago that was. Like something from when he was younger. And I thought it was like 2 years ago, and it was like 4 years ago. And I'm like, holy shit, like crazy. No, Blitzer is definitely not flying out of Newark Airport. He goes to the private, everyone that goes to the city or anywhere in New Jersey, the private airport is Teterboro Airport. So you chopper to there, and then your jet would be awaiting you at Teterboro Airport. John Fay, bang, bang. Matthews now leads Toronto in goals, breaking Matt Sundin's franchise goal record. Wow. Matt Sundin, another legend who never got a Stanley Cup, and he would have had a decent chance if the New Jersey Devils were not so dominant during the years that the Maple Leafs were pretty damn good. Devils knocked them out twice. When they were a very good team. Devils knocked them out in the second round in 2000. And then I think, was it and it was the second round the next year in 2001. Yeah, two second-round ousters in a row. Maple Leafs at the hands of our beloved New Jersey Devils. Frank says, I say this in tribute to my college hockey coach. It's not a jersey, it's a sweater. Yeah, a lot of people like the old school sweater stuff. Cape Doll, there's so many options of Jersey Devil drawings to choose from to put on a third jersey. I just feel like it would come off as too cartoonish. Natasha, I was snarking to my dad about people who just stop in the middle of the rink and chat, and I pointed them out. He was telling me I was too loud and people were going to take it a bad way. Oh, who cares? One of the greatest things for me, for the most part, I actually never cared what people thought. Like, I didn't want to be a jerk, but like, people have their own opinions. Like a lot of stuff I didn't care about. Like as I got older, I could care less. Like I could care less what anybody thinks at this point. Like I don't care at all. And it's such a liberating feeling. Like I don't care. Think what you want. Jay Snow. Yeah, every game is sold separately. Every single game is sold separately. So when the tickets first went on sale, they didn't even have the brackets set up. So initially, I had just bought the semifinal games and the gold medal. And then I will buy the other games in the upcoming days. No, it's not. It's not bad at all. Damn, Tom Wilson left with an injury, huh? Jimmy Mack 71, great showing today. Yes, it was. Hopefully this team can follow it up tomorrow with another one against our Achilles heel. The annoying Carolina Hurricanes. Tasha, food and stuff cheaper there. That's what I hear. There's affordable lodging too, man. There's also crazy expensive. There's a crazy expensive lodging as well. That is not where I went. Jason, no, you're going to hang out with SST in Italy? Yeah, totally. Jeremy Popper, they say to buy your ticket to Italy at 2:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Cheapest time to buy. I just went with the dates I needed. I had some miles saved up for that portion, so bear with me one second. Let me see. Sicily is the best spot. I'm pretty sure that's nowhere near. I'm pretty sure that's nowhere near where it is. I do plan on doing a separate trip to Italy with my mother when it's like nicer weather to go to a bunch of places. But this is my first one. It's going to be very hockey driven and hockey centric. So I told her this isn't the trip. Natasha, dual citizen of Italy. My great-grandpa or something was directly Italian, so we get them. Wow, it was like a 5-year project for my dad. I think I just closed that loophole, though. It has to be. So it's funny you mentioned this, Tasha. I know someone who had done this as well. And I forget if it was through a grandparent or a great-grandparent. It may have been a regular grandparent, but it was like years of paperwork and shit. So credit to your father. Like, you have to be diligent. Like, there's like people in the consulate and the embassy, and you need lawyers, and you need all these. I heard it's crazy. I wanted to look into it too, but I think they made it harder now, which kind of sucks. Just to have it as an option would be nice, but I think it's much harder. Yeah, direct relations. My great-grandparents are Italian. You have to do all kinds of paperwork. Who's meeting you over there? That who be you, Traveling Devil? Traveling Devil and your boy Ace will be tearing up Italy, going to the Olympics and feasting on food and drinking, hopefully, Team USA victory drinks all over Italy. And we're going to have some vlog content. Oh, we are going to have some vlog content. Richard, my kid was to have gone to Italy while at college. COVID put a stop to that amongst all of his senior year. I sent him and his girlfriend for a month, flew with her dad in March 25. Nice. That's a very nice thing to do for your son. That really sucks for kids that were in college then. To have all of those, just the college experience and so many things cut short because of COVID. I would have been so pissed if I was in college then. It's like they are the best years of your life. And to have it snuffed there, at least a big chunk of it snuffed out with COVID, that must have really sucked for kids. And even more for ones that were going abroad, right? I'm sure they were going there for an abroad program. I had some friends that did that in college as well. And to lose out on all that really, really sucks. Tasha, I like seeing warm-up stuff in that mini interview with Big Walt. Wow, so you really do watch all the stuff, Tasha. I appreciate you. Yeah, the warm-up, though, I always like the warm-ups. Warm-ups for me since I was a kid, that was always something I was always locked in on. You see little things that guys do and their superstitions and the different things they work on. Always liked warm-up stuff a lot. And then obviously Big Walt as a guy that I grew up loving, a Team USA legend. And so that was really cool for me. But yeah, Tasha, you really did watch all the stuff. Thank you very much. Colleen, super sticker. I don't know what this is, but thank you, Colleen. I don't know what the hell this is. I can't see it on here. The program I'm in, I'm sure it looks like something cool. Let me see if I can pull out of here and see it on here. Oh, it's like a little fox guy. I had to go pull another screen. Well, thank you very much, Colleen. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I have like sickness brain. All right, let me get back on track here. Robert, you remember the original Ottawa all black included with black socks? Love the Mace. You're talking about in like the Alexei Yashin days? You have to be a dual citizen. You have to not play for one national team for at least 5 years if you want to switch. Yeah, it's very complicated. It's very rarely done. Jeremy Proper, TripAdvisor is great. So is Viator, are great for ideas of what to do. Jay Snow, look it up, man. Look into it. It's not that crazy. It's not that expensive. At first, I thought it was going to be a fortune and I wouldn't be able to go, but it really wasn't. And with planning, Jersey Root says you have to have the bloodline. Italy wants people to get it, but I have heard from several sources now that they made it a little bit harder than it was. And it was already a multi-year process, as Tasha just pointed out. And I'd heard that from other people as well. Like, even when it was easier to do it, it was still this crazy process. Yeah, but like, what do they really get out of it? Is that they charge an exorbitant filing fee? Tasha, the older I'm getting, life is going faster. This year was so fast, I'm actually scared. I'm young. This shouldn't be happening. Teenage years are like supposed to be the best, but I haven't done shit. You're young. I'll tell you this, Tasha. I can't speak for everybody. For me personally, I guess I would call it, if I want to go like my peak 15 years of life, I would say, for me personally, we're probably, I mean, super young childhood's great too, but you have limitations. I would say for me personally, I would say 15 to 30 for me were probably my best years and best memories. 15 to 30. Obviously, when you're younger and older, you have great memories too, but the abundance of them and the amount of them that are packed within those years for me, obviously college is phenomenal. I'm sure you'll experience all of that. Jason Nussel, give me some warm weather, some good food, and some fine Italian women. I'm hoping to get 2 out of the 3 because warm weather is not on the cards for the area of Italy this time of year. It's going to be similar to New Jersey temperatures, I'm hearing. Jersey Roots, I'm in Florida. So sick of hot weather. Moving back ASAP. Really? I'm so sick of cold weather. John Fay, New Jersey also has great Italian food, which makes me think New Jersey is a little Italy. It's probably amongst the best in the country, but I've heard in Italy it's like next level. And I'm very excited to experience it. Jeremy Proper, never had a bad meal in Italy and have been quite a few times. Food is unmatched. Yeah, didn't Brett Hull get snubbed by Canada and he stuck it to them by playing for USA? What was that deal? I believe that's what it was. He was a dual citizen, I believe. I think his father, Bobby was Canadian. Maybe his mother was American. And I do think he was snubbed at some point. And then he was like, screw it, I'm going to play for USA. And then from that point on, he was a great Team USA guy and represented them tons of times over the years. NJ weather is brutal for sure. Traveling's in Florida and hates the hot weather. I've heard that before, Tasha. Don't go to Italy in August if you value your life. Apparently the summers are brutal. Brutal. I do want to go there when it's like nice with the weather though. I don't want to go there when it's scorching. Robert, Steven said the 2000 Toronto team was the best team they ever played in the playoffs. I mean, I think that's a stretch. I'm curious if he said that verbatim. I would love to know the source of that. If you have it, definitely send it to me. I'd love to read it or watch whatever it was. They were a very good team. You know, Cujo, Matt Sundin, you know, Domi. They had tons of guys. Let me see who else was. Darcy Tucker. Why is this game so? Oh, come on, man. Damn, I forgot Steve Thomas was on that team. Caberlet, Antropov, Brian Berard, Mike Johnson, Tucker, Ty Domi, Alan McCauley. Yeah, not like a superstar name-laden team, but they had good players. $1968 Impala, Cape Dweller. Is that your first car? That question got thrown out like hours ago. Did you just hit that part and throw it out there? 1968 Impala, very nice. Not Tasha. If you go again with your mother, go to Capri. It was the best. It's pricier side for sure. The celebrities like to hang there. It was amazing. They're my favorite spot I've seen for sure. I'm gonna try to go to a bunch of places, but that's down the line. I have plenty of time to plan all that. I'm focused on 5 weeks away from departure for the Olympics. Let's go. This year was in the 40s. Traveling, going to be awesome. Oh, get ready, my friend. Get ready. I'm going to set a record of consumption. John Fay, the only part of the Olympics I am happy for is to see the NHL guys take the ice and hopefully expand the sport and make it bigger than just Canada and the United States. That's obviously a big part of it. Robert, say hi to all the Goombas in Italy for me, Ace. I will do. Tasha, I watched a lot of the Four Nations continent over the summer. This summer's hockey deprivation was awful. Man. Oh, wow. And you watched it in the summer, so it was like well after. Okay. Colleen, enjoy Italy. I certainly will. I heard the pizza. I heard everything there is good. I will take you guys there in vlog format. I will certainly try everything there is to try. Pizza, pastas, meats, desserts, pastries. Trying it all. I'm trying it all. Jeremy Proper, you got to go to the Dolomites. They're beautiful. You should try skiing in Italy too. I've never went skiing in my life. I went snowboarding once. That's a story for another day. I was severely battered and bruised. And it was one of the more painful experiences of my entire life. Tasha says the pizza was good. The best was definitely from Naples. The quality is better of the stuff. Everyone tells me everything there is better quality. Traveling the pizza in Naples, Napoli is amazing, best in the world. Yeah, we're going to a cold part. I'm not a seafood guy, so I'll be trying everything other than seafood. Avs tied it. What did I tell you people? What did I tell you people? You're like, oh, Kane's got it. And I said, you're counting the Avs out down 2 goals in the third period? What did they score? 2 goals in the first 4 minutes to tie it up? Let's go. Even though I hate the Avalanche, I'll certainly root for them over. I'll certainly root for them when they're playing the Canes. The Avs are a wagon, folks. Avs, tie game. What'd I tell you? You guys were like, it's over. Down 2 goals going into the third for this Avalanche team. Everyone's celebrating now. Go Avs, go. DMW, you can't appreciate how good the Italian food and pizza specifically is until you move away. I'm in South Carolina and still dream of good pizza and Italian food. Oh, you're talking about compared to New Jersey. Oh, I didn't need to move away for that, DMW. The first time when I traveled as a child, I was young. I mean, I wasn't super young. I was probably 7 or 8. I think we went on a family trip to Florida. And I remember, I think the first thing was pizza. And I was like, this pizza sucks. And then I remember I think I got a sandwich somewhere and I was like, this also sucks. And then obviously as you get older, you become very aware that New York, New Jersey has the best everything. And then, you could obviously pick and choose in different areas and find decent food. But by and large, you're not getting the quality of food in New York and New Jersey and other places. It just does not exist. Especially on the islands traveling. I have 5 more regions to visit in Italy. How many regions? What are you counting as regions? Is there actual like a breakdown called region? Or are you just kind of classifying it as areas? Yeah, South Carolina pizza. I've had it. And it was after a late night of drinking in college. It wasn't great. It was edible, but it wasn't great. Not Tasha, the gelato is unmatched though, and it's extra light because the quality is good. And then you walk so much. I average like 1 to 2 gelatos a day, easy. Forgot about the gelato. I'm going to be crushing it all, folks. I'm going to be crushing it all. Crazy. Nordique's tied at 3-3. Jason, the Senators team in 03 was really good too. That team, if someone asked me what was one of the best teams that never won a cup that the Devils played, that team would definitely be up there. You know, Alfredson and all those guys, they were a wagon. Patrick Lalime and net, Redden. I think they may have won the President's Trophy. Speaking of bringing this back to the President's Trophy, I think they won it in 2003. If I'm not mistaken. And I'm correct. Sometimes my memory serves me well. Sens did win it in 03, and then they ran into a Devils team in the Eastern Conference Finals that took them out late in Game 7. What a heroic run. Richard Ottawa was loaded in 03. Dano said they're the most stacked team you'd ever seen. They were so good. They were so good. DMW, whenever I go back to New Jersey to visit, I go from the airport straight to a pizza joint. Can't blame you. That was a very close series. And the Devils didn't play that well at home. I was at some of those losses. John Fay Ace is going to come back and say he ate too much and then say it was all worth it. Oh, for sure. I'm hoping to walk a lot there as well. Get the steps up. Robert, he said it after Game 6 win in 2000, an interview with Deb Placey. Okay. Let's see if I can find that. I'm very interested. Richard, first car, 73 Ford Galaxy 500 police car, $1,000, 455 pursuit engine, got like 7 miles city and 13 highway, a complete gas guzzler. Yeah, it wasn't as bad, though. I'm sure when gas cost what back then, Richard. Shit. Cape Dweller is throwing out questions like from hours ago, I think. Travin says, you don't vacation in Italy during June, July, or August. Tasha learned that experience, sadly. I'm assuming Cape Dweller, you mean about how they pick it. It's probably not been the same through all the years. Very nice. Sasha tried trekking Pompeii in August with a sprained ankle. Italy was brutal for me, but the gelato made up for it. Everyone wants pizza now. Traveling was there last year and loved it. Jeremy Proper, got to watch Stanley Tucci's Italy show. He goes all over the country to eat, gives great ideas. I've seen clips here and there. Ehlers may have ended Taves' season. Ace is going to stuff his face with primetime Italian food, come back and complain he ate too much, and then go to a Devils game and eat some more. Probably. No, I'm not going to too many more games for the rest of the year, I don't think. I have to have some morals. 20 regions. I don't know about that, my guy. I'm going to have Ace eating animal organs. I'd have to be pretty far gone, I think, to even consider it. Tavares, that was like last year or 2 years ago. I think they just said they thought it was better to kind of transition to Matthews. I forget what they said, but it was like some amicable nonsense. Elan's our first car, 92 Camaro RS dark red T-tops, cost $20 to fill the tank in 01. Shit, I remember when I first started driving in 02. I want to say gas was like a little over $1 a gallon. It may have been $30 to fill when I had an SUV. I love Naki. Oh, man. I love gnocchi. Yes, James. Going to Italy for the Olympics. Italian food here is different than Italian food in Italy. That's what I keep hearing from everybody traveling. Natasha, it's called, I don't know how to say that. Little fried pizzas. Man, Ace, need to try them. They're like pizza on crack. It's crazy how they're good there. I'm going to try everything. Jeremy Proper said I was walking 10 to 15K steps a day in Italy. In the summer, I walk that every day pretty much on average. Winter, not so much. Got to get back to that. I've been falling off with hockey season and the holidays. Fell off hard. Going to get back to it very soon. But I'm hoping to walk a lot more than that there. Let's go, traveling 30 plus. Oh, I'm gonna count you. I'm gonna hold you to it. 30K plus a day. Let's go. Let's go. I think my high steps day for the summer was like 40. I want to say, you guys won't even believe me. Avs are up. Let's go. Power play. What did I tell you, people? You're counting the win for the Hurricanes already. Avalanche down 2 goals in the third period. No problem. Firepower galore. Let's go. Even though I hate the Avs, I want to see the Canes lose in regulation, and then I want the Devils to beat them in regulation tomorrow. Let's go. All right. I'm going to have to try to find this because you guys would think I'm full of shit. This is before I started to transition to the Fitbit because the phone is annoying. Yeah, this is my summer record. That was my summer record. Yeah. August 30th, my single day record, 41,366 steps. Holler at me. Beast. Beast. I got to try to top that. It's very hard to top that, though. That may never be topped in my life, honestly. How you doing? That was a beast day. It was a beast day. I forget how many miles. This thing is annoying. It doesn't make it easy on the stupid phone, but that was a wild one. Jeremy Proper, the little mom. You guys are getting me so fired up. I'm about to go pay. I'm about to go. Well, it's too late to order real restaurant food. The little mom and pop restaurants and sandwich shops are beast. You guys are getting me all crazy now about food. 4-3 Avs power play. Go. When I told you guys, we're all worried. 4-3. 10,000. Yeah, 10,000 steps or die, right? I mean, that's where I'm trying to be. The winter makes it much harder. When it's nice out, I have no problem. I love going for walks outside. The winter, I'm miserable. It's dark. It's cold. I'm depressed. It sucks. I try for no steps a day. That's what I've been doing as of late. Italy may have the most Michelin star restaurants. One of my buddies is a big Michelin star guy. I've been to a couple. I mean, face it, we're going to get smacked tomorrow if the Canes lose this game. Or hopefully it's back-to-back losses. Walk 12 miles in Rome. Very nice. That's right, Tasha. 41,366. That's right. No, I don't know. No. Yep, just like you. Only the bad words. Casuals don't realize how good McKinnon is. If McDavid is Gretzky, McKinnon is Lemieux. McKinnon's phenomenal. One of my favorite players in the league to watch for sure. He's going to be a problem with the rest of those guys on Canada. The USA boys better be ready. Better be ready. 1.3 million steps for the year. I don't have it all logged, though. Oh, I have you crushed. I have you crushed, traveling. And I stopped. And I basically, the last couple months, I just stopped. Yeah, I got active and then I just fell off. This is just on my phone and I didn't carry. So my daily average is 9188 steps for calendar year 2025. So if you do 9188, 9188 times 365, that's how many steps I did last year on my phone, with the phone. And I in the past couple months, I started transitioning to the Fitbit, but then I forget. I take it off when I go in the shower, and then I'll forget to put it on when I come out. So then, like, I won't wear it for like full days. So there's pros and cons to all this. I need to get better, and I think they said it's waterproof, so I might just leave this on, and never take it off, and that way I'll get credit. And I wanted to really get better at it. I forgot it. Yeah, I have to dial in and get all this shit set because I was like, the new year I'm going to get all this stuff programmed so I don't mess it up. Jason, I'm trying to gain weight. I do 0 cardio at the gym. I need to lose a ton of weight. It's a long process. Who lowered it to 7,000 a day? I'm still trying to get 10. I wish I could get it to 15. Jersey Roots, I hike 5+ miles every day with an 80-pound. Is that a vest? Or what the hell's a ruck? It'll change your life, Ace. I'm a big sauna guy. I got to get back to that. In the summer, I had a very good routine going. I'm going, Robert. I'm going. Natasha, I want to get one of those Aura rings. I used to have a Fitbit, but I hate watches. I don't like anything I like on me, but it does a good job. Here's one. Porco Mezza. I don't know how to say that. It means miserable pig. My fiance calls me that all the time. Oh, my God. Jeremy Proper, last year I rode my bike 1,524 miles, mostly riding the weekends. Nice. I do want to start riding my bike more. I've been lazy about that. I just prefer walking or jogging or playing basketball, but that's hard to get people to do when you're old. I'd have to play with younger kids. I know some younger guys, some young fellas in their, mid-20s that occasionally play basketball. Boys still rocking the post and give him a like. Appreciate you. We got on the once I brought up the Olympics thing. We got sidetracked here. Everyone getting me excited about food. Rucksack, a big backpack. Yeah, I'm gonna get the weighted vest. 80 pounds sounds crazy. I was gonna get a 50-pound weighted vest. I have a Whoop. What is that? Jason, no, you look like you already lost a lot of weight. A good amount, but I still have a long ways to go. I was super, super overweight. And I still am. I mean, much better than I was before, but I got a long way to go. Hopefully, I get to my ideal weight by this summer, which is coming quickly. I mean, I'm considering the summer Labor Day, Memorial Day. So that's like less than 5 months away, which is crazy to think about. How I got a proper 98 likes. Thanks. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. I'm dying out here. I'm dying. He goes, where did you serve? Rucksack brings me back to my. I thought that was like a military, or some sort of army verbiage. Ryan Demand, what's up, Devils fans? Devils win. How about those Devils? Are you not entertained? Oh, we're certainly entertained. All right, that's it, folks. How much time is left in this game? What channel is the game on, by the way? I hate the only thing harder for me finding these Am I going to have to do this on ESPN Plus and then project it on the TV? Probably. All right, 7 minutes left. Hopefully the Avs hold on and win this in regulation. I'm dying, guys. Shout out to everybody for coming out. Appreciate all of you. Big Devils win 4-1. Markey's shutout got ruined. Kind of sucks. I wanted to see it, but the big guns came out, and hopefully we take advantage. It's a back-to-back for us too, but the Hurricanes are going to have less rest. They're traveling. The advantages for the Devils in that department. Hopefully they find a way to get it done. the pesky thorn in our side, Carolina Hurricanes. We need to get it done. Need to get it done. No excuses. Big game tomorrow. I'll be back. Obviously, I'll be back. I might do a pregame tomorrow. Probably not, but maybe. I always throw it out there as a maybe. But we'll see, folks. Big one tomorrow. Big win for the boys today. Devils win 4-1. It is now 2 in a row. Looking for a 3-game win streak tomorrow. It's going to be a big test. These Hurricanes are going to be tired and traveled. Got to start pounding on them early. But that's it, folks. Hit the thumbs up for your boy on the way out. I got tons of stuff in the works. If you haven't seen the Curtis Gabriel interview, check that out. I'll put the link in the description for that real quick. I mean, the link in the chat. Former New Jersey Devil, talks about a lot of cool stuff throughout his career. Talks about legendary Devil Scott Stevens as an assistant coach with the Wild. Talks about young nicohischier, young Bratter, all that stuff. Link in the chat. Check that out if you haven't. Poke around on that interview playlist there and check out some of the other interviews. I got a bunch of stuff in the works. As always, I'll be back soon. Going to go catch the end of this game. Like I said, hopefully the Canes hang on in regulation. Cheers to all of you. That's much harder to do when you're sick. Oh, man. Victory drinks are so delicious, guys. I'm hoping we're drinking them again tomorrow. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go